You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. We're here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, with a beautiful blue sky today. Picturesque scenes here in the southeast of the United States as we're tuned in for this Labor Day weekend of minor league cricket. Should be a jam-packed weekend with plenty of matches all the way around. Talk about, I believe I saw 38 matches coming to you. The match here today, it'll be the Morrisville Raptors taking on the Atlanta Fire in a Southern Division matchup. And this is a huge weekend in terms of playoff implications. We talk about each team will get around 10 games, and so we have an opportunity to see teams now clinch playoff spots with this weekend's play. Let's talk about what happened in the toss in the middle. The Morrisville Raptors, they won the toss and they elected to bowl first. It'll be their first time playing on these wickets. The Atlanta Fire, they've seen it for the past couple of weeks, and we were here last week as well to see these wickets, and I think it's a good decision for the Raptors to see how the wicket plays. We did see a team win chasing and we saw a team losing chasing last weekend, both of whom were the Atlanta Fire, losing both defending and chasing. We talk about the 11s for both teams. We'll start off with the Atlanta Fire. Of course, we'll get to see the captain, Aaron Jones. We'll see Kenar Lewis and all of his international experience. Zain Zayed, Nasser Hussain and his experience with the spin. Jamar Hamilton behind the stumps. Obis Pinar fresh off the U.S. Masters T10. Also, if you remember, was part of the Morrisville Raptors in 2022, so a great matchup there. Corne Dry, the big quick. Amila Alfonso, the left arm spinner. Athindra Subramanian, the youngster who has turned heads across minor league cricket. Jeremy Gordon, he will also be seeing it from the right-hand side with ball in hand, the ex-Canadian national. And we also have Rishi Pandey making his way back into the 11 for an Ishan Sharma who's been left out today. Remember, Rishi Pandey opened the batting last season for the Atlanta Fire. And also you see Nasik Khan, he'll be the 17th man. But that is the 11 there, rounding it out with Rishi Pandey in for the Atlanta Fire today. I would expect to see him back up top, opening with Kenar Lewis. And then we talk about the Morrisville Raptors with their 11, Trayvon Griffith, who's been spectacular 50s in both matches for the Morrisville Raptors. Then the captain, Dane Pete. As always, Everroy Dyer will be seeing things from the right-hand side with ball in hand, possibly opening today. Aditya Padala from the left side with the ball in hand. Then you have your under-21s, Rohan Phadke and Abhiram Bolasetti, both of whom will be playing today. Then we jump down to the leggy, Kartikeya Jagadish. Then the other opening bat alongside Trayvon Griffith will be Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. We also see Rashesh Behera, who will be bowling, could be bowling in the opening as well. We saw it earlier. A new addition for the team today, Hanchard Hamilton, who was a member of the Atlanta Lightning. He'll be keeping wicket, and he'll be in the middle with the bat in hand. And Ryan Wiggins, who was very close to a 50 of his own in the Raptors' second match versus the Baltimore Royals. So a star-studded affair here for both sides. It should be a very entertaining and mouth-watering contest that we have. I'm Aman Patel here, giving you comms from today's matchup. And again, our production team has worked so hard and diligently to get you this production, all the cameras set up, and beautiful sights here, and a beautiful wicket as well, set up by curator Sam Plummer. And be intrigued. You can see the opening bowler is going to be Everroy Dyer. He's got ball in hand, but you see the batters that are going to come on. You have Kenar Lewis from one end, and from the other end, it looks like Zain Zayed is back up top. He opened in Saturday's matchup versus the Atlanta Lightning last week for the Fire. Really struggled. Seems the technique has just maybe changed in a facet that has not allowed him to be his usual stroke-making self, but we'll get another look at him today. Kenar Lewis, he got off to a couple of starts last weekend. He just wasn't able to capitalize on it. The Fire will feel they just need to hold wickets together. I think that's going to be the message, and to me, that's also why I'm a little surprised we don't see a Rishi Pandey opening, just because he would be the little linchpin in the middle in that opening partnership. But this is the partners that we have in the middle. Zain Zayed, Kenar Lewis. Kenar Lewis on strike, facing the first delivery from Everroy Dyer. Pulled in the air. It's going to fall short of a fielder. Dyer, someone who is so familiar with the Atlanta grounds. He's someone who mentioned earlier as part of the Atlanta franchise in 2021 and 2022. And someone who likes to hit the deck hard, get some movement away. And we saw this wicket stay a touch low on that length, and that's what undid Kenar Lewis in Sunday's matchup. So I'm intrigued to see if it happens similarly today. Down the leg side, that's not going to cut it. Not given wide there by the umpire. Interesting call. What did it catch there? I'm interested to see. He's saying he might have caught a piece of the arm. I think the umpire is saying there. Tough pickings for Kenar Lewis, who, again, is pretty confused as to why that one wasn't given wide, but a Dyer escapes on that occasion. This one worked into the offside, and I think this is going to be the trick here for Kenar Lewis. Again, he's someone who has that explosive game and can really get going, but just doesn't want to lose his wicket. We saw him against the Atlanta Lightning on Sunday lose the wicket on the final ball, that first over, and that kind of just started the spiral, the downward spiral for the Atlanta Fire. Struggling with timing so far as Lewis. We saw the first one off the toe end, this time again. Dyer poses an interesting trick, and it's just because of the fact that he hits the deck hard. He comes from a rather slingy action, but his intent is to hit the deck, and he moves it away. And that's why there's a slip in place for the Raptors early, even on a day, not much cloud coverage, just for that extra bit of movement. Like that, there it is. Again, you can see just that half-hearted little dab down, that run down to third man. I think Kenar Lewis is at his best when he's driving, when he's attacking, but again, it's that mental battle of last time I lost my wicket, my team fell quickly. And for the Atlanta Fire, you would wonder who opened the batting for them last season. It was Rishi Pandey, who's currently on the roster, but it was Rakeem Cornwall, who's out in the CPL at the moment, who was the big bat for them up top. Missing him. This one gets Cornwall on the body. Gets Lewis on the body. It's a good over so far from Dyer. Hasn't given up runs and made it look real easy to start things off after the first over. Scores unaffected.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Back here at the Buttonveer Cricket Complex, a beautiful facility that's hosting matches not just for minor league cricket through this weekend, but for the USA Under 15 Nationals that are happening in surrounding grounds. We'll get our first look at Zain Zayed here. Again, struggled last week. And we'll start off with Rashish Behera, who's a new man for the Morrisville Raptors, and he started off well in the first match up against the Royals. This time, though, sliding down the leg side, given wide. See Hanchard Hamilton there behind the stumps with gloves in hand. We'll get to see his brother, Jamar Hamilton, with gloves in hand for the Atlanta Fire. Jamar, one of the more expressive cricketers you'll ever get to see. Let's see what Zayed is able to do here against Behera. A little bit of extra bounce on offer as they scamper home a single. It's come off the body of Lewis as well, but interesting to see. We've seen some deliveries stay low. We've seen them bounce up at times too, so I'm just interested to see the nature of the wicket hitter today. Sam Plummer's worked very hard over the week to get this wicket and the many others around the facility up to par, and we know the caliber and quality of the curator Sam Plummer. And speaking of caliber and quality, Kenar Lewis possesses that in spades. Behera's not going to want to get too wide here. Don't want to give Lewis any width. It seems to be the plan is to stay straight onto stumps. Yeah, that's a good delivery. A little bit of extra bounce as well. Good carry into Hamilton. And again, you can see it there. Not much width on offer, keeping Lewis intact. You have to imagine the scoreboard just affected by that one wide, but other than that, no runs coming from the bat. So do we see that big shot come in play for Kenar Lewis at some point? Does he just try to open up the arms? It's led to a slip, that delivery being brought into place. There's a deep backward square who's now moved into a fine leg inside the ring. And the deep mid-wicket that was out is now a deep backward square. There's also a deep third, so maybe thinking to be a little touch shorter. Curious to see the plans here from young Behera. Yeah, it's short. It's pulled into that mid-wicket region. It was just vacated. It'll be the first boundary of the day for the Atlanta Fire. It's a real pickup shot, that, from Kenar Lewis, someone whose exploits we know quite well. Talk about the CPL, and he's making it known here in the minor league. Starts off the Fire's account with that 4, moves the total to 5. Again, Behera's just not going to want to trail too far down the leg side. I like attacking the stumps, not giving any room for the arms, but Lewis so good on the leg side. Straight back. Don't worry about that one. That one has left the building. That's a huge 6 straight back down the ground. Just try to change the length. Did Behera try to get fuller? Got too full, got in the slot, and Kenar Lewis said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that one downtown." It'll bring up 6 runs. Back-to-back boundaries for the big opener. And again, the Fire will want to see plenty more of this. We've seen Lewis score a lot of runs on this end of the ground. And again, big, tall, long levers. If he gets in the slot, it's always going to go. So that's why the length is so important for Behera. I wouldn't mind you getting pulled into that leg side. It wasn't too short, just really more of a pickup off the hips. But that fuller delivery, that's when you can cut out. Third man inside the ring, long on, deep. Pulls the length back and cramps him up for room. I think that's better. I think you'd rather be too short than too full to Kenar Lewis, especially with the line in which Behera's bowling. He's been good around middle and off stumps, so if you were to keep it back of a length, you just force Lewis to pull it from there. And with that little bit of extra bounce too, it just creates a half-heartedness in the shots, but when it's full, it's just far too easy. Again, Behera, someone who wasn't part of this Raptors team last season. Remember the former DC Hawks and now Baltimore Royals. Good delivery. He was happy about it. Behera was very happy about it. I don't think there was an edge on it, but you can see plenty of carry into Hanchard Hamilton. The Fire, they bounce back in the over. At the end of 2, it's 12 for none.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
After maiden in his first, of course Everroy Dyer is going to continue. Not going to take the ball out of his hands as Dane Pete. Plenty of options with pace. Rohan Fudke, Abhiram Seti still to come. But for now, we'll see the vet, Everroy Dyer. Zayed straight back down the ground. A good on drive there to get himself a run. Again, he struggled last week with just the technique seemed to have just been off for Zayed. I was with Faisal Shah, who is beloved in the Atlanta community, and he was talking about how Zayed seems to have just taken a liking to collapsing the back foot and accessing the leg side. It's faltered his stroke making and his stroke play through the off. On the legs, there's a shout. I think it's given down leg. No, it's been given straight away. Doesn't like it, Kenar Lewis. He's having a question. Silence around the ground. I thought maybe he might have been sliding down leg. You can see him asking the question to the umpire there, but Kenar Lewis, he's got to go after a couple of boundaries for him. He's going to be out. I'll just try to get you a second look at that in a second, but Kenar Lewis, again, stunned silence around the ground. Just started to get some momentum. And that wicket takes all of that away. It'll bring into the middle Rishi Pandey, but all eyes will be on Kenar Lewis as he walks off in utter disbelief. And Dyer does move it back into the stumps late. We're sitting at an angle, so we don't have the best look at it. So maybe attacking that leg stump could have been just clipping onto it. But again, real disbelief. The new man in the middle is a Rishi Pandey. Finna get the one down spot. Opened in the 2022 season, but now he's in one down. And Rishi Pandey, someone who many have felt should have been in that USA Under-19 team that went to Canada and ended up qualifying for the World Cup, and he's mighty talented. Might be small in stature, but big in terms of bat in hand. Starts off with the ball on the body. He'll get a run straight away, will Rishi Pandey. This is going to be the key to me now. We saw this last week. Couple of boundaries and outs for a Kenar Lewis. And then the rest of the order just collapsed around him. And I think Rishi Pandey adds a balance that they didn't have in a previous week because he's someone who can get singles with regular ease. He also lets Aaron Jones drop into 4, which I think he's more naturally accustomed to playing. Obis Pinar likes playing at the 5 role. I think it saves your big bats for the middle for those tough periods there. So if these two can stick in for the power play, you'd feel good if you're the Atlanta Fire. Outside edge is going to run down to third man, and it'll beat third man far too wide. Zayed, maybe not the most convincing boundary, but definitely intentional to run down there. Pick up 4 runs there, a big 4 runs after the wicket of Kenar Lewis. And again, with Rishi Pandey there, Zayed's going to be the one that's going to be the bigger hitter, while Pandey just facilitates runs in other regions. And again, you just a touch too wide there. Not incredibly too. It was run down very fine, but plenty of bounce for Dyer. Attacking the legs, and that's the shot. Accesses the leg side. Does well on the boundary. I think that's Aditya Badala out there. Always so good. Saving a couple of runs, but Zayed likes it on the legs. He likes it full on the legs as well. Just the wrist work. Very nicely done. Runs flowing for the Atlanta Fire. For Dyer, I'd like to see him be on that fuller side, but if he can get it around off and middle, Zayed will try to access the leg side. We've seen that. And with his extra bit of bounce, could offer a top edge to the keeper, to covers, to point, or could just open up the stumps as he tries to wrist it in. Again, I think the line there is just going to be the key. Has to fix that. Last delivery here of the third over. Everroy Dyer into ball. Outside edge, over the top of covers. We were just talking about it. Could that have been a chance? We saw cover move well inside the ring. It just flew over him. Nearly the second wicket for the Atlanta Fire. At the end of 3, it's 21 for 1. Well, the Atlanta Fire seem to have refueled with some Lakshmi foods. Now a change, a tooling here for the Morrisville Raptors. Young Abhiram Bolasetti, he'll get ball in hand after what I thought was a decent over from Rashesh Behera. Well down the leg side. I'll be full, 5 wides. Not the start you're going to want. If you're Abhiram Bolasetti, never had a chance. And something he struggled with in 2022 and seasons past. Talk about 44 wides coming into the season over 2 years. That's been the one downfall. When he's been on the line and length, he's been tough to put away, but just seems to be those times far and few in between. It's better. It's better. Area you're going to want to attack again. Plenty of pace on Abhiram Bolasetti. Gets some natural movement away. And think about the action as well. But think about the way Pat Cummins comes in to deliver, the way his arm will angle it in, and then it leaves the batsman late. Abhiram Bolasetti does similar things, actually modeled his bowling after Pat Cummins idolized him, and last season wore 30 because of Pat Cummins. This year 19 for the birthday. Good delivery. Again, with the bounce on offer, I think you can afford to be on the length, and if you're on a length, it's been tough to play. Plenty of extra bounce. And for Zain Zayed now, Dane Pete has seen his liking to play behind square on the leg side and has clogged it up. Deep backward square, deep fine leg, so daring him to play in front of square anywhere else. Good tactics from the Raptor captain. Full, straight, punished. Through, wide, long off. It'll be 4 runs, just a touch too full. That from Abhiram Bolasetti. Nothing wrong with the line there, but the length, that's what was missed. He's going to have to pull that one back. And Zayed, we've talked about his liking to take it into the leg side, but when you're just that full, it really just becomes a half volley. There's never a doubt once it got off the bat that I was going to run for 4. So with that 5 wides earlier, 9 runs coming from the over. Again, no slip in place. Ball not doing a whole lot off the wicket right now. That's a better length. That's the length you're going to want to operate at if you're the Raptors bowlers, and especially the Pacers and Abhiram Bolasetti. On that length, it's tough to score. Again, the ball can do a couple of things. But on this fresh wicket, the Raptors getting plenty of carry through. Something to keep in mind is that on a Samuel Plummer wicket, not going to expect too much grass. So you're not going to expect a lot of sideways movement off of the surface. It's going to be about the bounce. Pulled into the leg side in front of square as well. Didn't sound great off the bat. And Aditya Badala will come on to cut it to 2. Again, it looked like it hit high and sounded like it hit high off the bat there. Again, that's what the hard length does. Again, the Raptors, they're going to want to take another wicket here and try to get Aaron Jones out to the middle during the power play. I think that's their best chance to restrict Atlanta to a low score. Fine leg coming inside the ring, mid-wicket into the deep. But another wicket here would do the Morrisville Raptors quite a bit of good. Would bring out Aaron Jones early. Just create some pressure on that middle order. Fuller hit straight to mid-on. A little bit of a misfield coming off the legs. Looks like that was Rashesh Behera. Just came off of the foot. Might have just lost it. Was hit very, very firmly to close out this 4th over. At the end of 4, it's 29 for 1.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Well, change of ends here for Rashesh Behera. Was operating from the far end, now operating from the commentary box end. Just tell you why in just a second here. Changes the bat speed. Good work by the Morrisville Raptors, closing things in the inside. Trayvon Griffith there, backward point, always active. The reason I think you could have seen a change in ends for Rashesh Behera is just a little bit of incline when the bowler runs up from the far end. It's a little bit steeper on that side, so right in the jumping path, it's just something that could affect the bowler's landing. There's a little bit of an incline here, but it's far less from this commentary box end than it is from that far end. Hits the length again looking to run it down, again nowhere to go. Trying to sneak away singles is Zain Zayed, but Rishi Pandey not interested, and again, I think rightfully so. You're hitting to Trayvon Griffith, so agile, so active in the field, but also you're not getting it into gaps. It's more so straight line action. And again, this is the length I love here from Rashesh Behera. I think this length on this wicket, especially against this batter, is going to be very, very productive. A little bit of extra bounce, beats the outside edge. This is good. This is very good. Again, we talked about this wicket, not a lot of grass, so you're not going to see a lot of sideways movement, but you get that extra bit of bounce on the wicket. The bounce is going to be the thing to watch for over these 4 days of play, and we hope you tune in for all 4 days of play here in this Labor Day weekend action. 38 matches being broadcasted around the country. Here the Raptors camp backing Rashesh Behera after a good start. Fuller, big swing, misses out. Misses completely. Zain Zayed just goes straight back down the ground. And again, we felt that this shot could be coming. Rishi Pandey going to go have a word with the senior batter. But just knowing that in the power play want to score, but I think, again, there's plenty of opportunities to push straight back down the ground. Do we see just a single here just to get some pressure off? Rashesh Behera's begging on the second maiden of the innings. Run through third man. Well done there from Zain Zayed. It's also well bowled. Bring Rishi Pandey on to strike. Hasn't seen the strike in quite some time since he came in, got a single off his first delivery. And from there, you had 9 deliveries, then you have 13 deliveries since he's last played a delivery. And plenty of action happening at the Buttonveers Cricket Complex. An excellent facility here in the Atlanta area. Looking to pull. That one stayed low. It's beat Hanchard Hamilton as well. It'll be one down to third man, but again, you can see that's the key on this wicket. The bounce is something to watch for. We saw it for Zain Zayed consistently getting up. This one just staying low on Rishi Pandey, who's looking to thrash that one. That'll end the 5th over. At the end of 5, it's 35 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Rishi Pandey, the man on your screen, back into the 11 after missing out on 2 matches, and he's going to be a key fixture for me. I think if he can get through, it could save some wickets. Aditya Badala coming in for his first over. Hit in the air, umpire gets down, it'll race away just for a run there from Rishi Pandey. Good agility there from the umpire, getting down very, very quickly off the bat, so always love to see the umpires in on the action. talking about being in on the action. Aditya Badala seems to always be, whether that's in the field, whether that's with the bat in hand. You can see that steep run up we were talking about from this end, but Badala's so good at adapting to situations. Won't mind it. Run down, run through, covers, he'll get a single. It was well placed from Zayed, just to the right, to the left of that cover fielder, Rohan Fudkit. And they'll pick up that single, but Aditya Badala, someone who was so good for the Raptors last season. We talked about his ability to adapt. He would bowl in any situation. He would open at times, he would come in the middle, and then he'd come in at the end. And with the bat in hand, would pick up some handy runs. So he's an all-around cricketer. And don't forget about what he does in the field. You see this quick single taken. Again, I think the key here, some of you might have just seen that one hit straight to mid-off. It's the outfield's a little bit thicker. Ball doesn't quite run off of the bat, and so there is opportunities to get singles inside the circle.
7 and the bowler is 7. And nobody, you told me
Hit away.
you didn't tell me about the fact that
We'll get a single there as well.
bowled the first over. Dawes already bowled 2 overs. It doesn't hurt me, it only hurts your players who don't have the right jersey numbers.
And so again,
Yeah, but they're wearing the same jersey. That doesn't work in cricket. Who's wearing the same jersey?
and again we talk about Aditya Badala, just so good at
This doesn't work.
understanding the types of deliveries to bowl. Rolled his fingers, run down to third man. They'll pick up a single. Again, this is going to be the key. This is why I think Rishi Pandey is so good for the Atlanta Fire. He'll keep this going. Again, you don't want to get those 2-run overs too consistently. If you can get this, the 6, the 7, you have plenty of hitters. Talk about Aaron Jones. Talk about Obis Pinar. Talk about Jamar Hamilton. Talk about Cornet Dry, who nearly scored a 50 in that second match against the Atlanta Lightning on Sunday last week. This is going to be key. That's one is in the gap. They'll pick up 1. They're going to come back for 2, and they'll get it quite easily in the end as well. This is good running from the Atlanta Fire. Good work from the Atlanta Fire to close out the power play. At the end of the power play, it's 42 for 1. Back here in this 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, where the Atlanta Fire, after losing an early wicket of Kennard Lewis, has bounced back well. 42 for 1 in the power play. It'll bring out the captain, Dane Peat, the former South African off-spinner. Played Test cricket for South Africa. He's in here. In the air, it's just going to be away from that long off-fielder who's just put in place. It's Aditya Badala out there. And Dane Peat would know a little bit about Rishi Pandey, raise him highly as a cricketer, have him on a weekly show called Mid-innings, and he's someone who raves about Rishi Pandey. Zain Zayed is getting a change of bat, it looks like. And again, Zayed maybe trying to take up an extra gear. Did have Abhiram Bolasetti get one high on the bat of Zayed. See what Zayed's able to do here. Doesn't want to try to do too much to access the leg side, because Dane will turn it back into the right-hander. He's also just so good with the drifter, and he can also get the arm ball working as well. A lot of variations. It's what makes Dane Peat so good. Pushed into the offside. Chance of a run out. Direct hit would have been close. Direct hit would have been close there. I believe it's Ryan Wiggins inside the circle there, backward point. But again, it seems to be a change of mindset, a change of tactic for the Atlanta Fire. Not looking to take the big boundary shots, but rather milk the singles, set the game up for the back end. This is the key. This is the key adjustment we were waiting for. Cut well. Cover has some work to do. Coming back for two. Rishi Pandey is going to be run out. Rishi Pandey could be run out here. Throw came to the wrong end. Throw came to the wrong end there at deep cover. If that was at the bowler's end, Rishi Pandey was well gone. He was running for two all the way. Zain Zayed was never looking for it. Have to clear that up there. Escapes, fortunately. Looking to go down the leg side. Not deemed wide from the umpire there. Hasn't brushed the pad on the way through. Not given. The second time we've seen a wide potentially not been given. In the air, away from the man inside the ring. Three fielders collide on it. They'll keep it to just two. Good running from the Atlanta Fire. Making sure that they're just picking up runs. And again, if you can score off Dane Pete, if you can get 8 and over off Dane Pete, you felt like you've done well. He's a wicket taker. So if you can just keep the runs flowing from this end of the ground, done well. Oh, how about this? Hansard Hamilton was off to the races. Given not out. We talked about the variation from Dane Pete. Does it well to end the 7th over. 47 for 1.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So welcome you back here, and we're just going to welcome you back with this replay. This was a stumping that was given not out. Zayed's foot's in the air. I think he got back down in time. It's a good call there from the umpires. A good ask also from Hansard Hamilton. Good piece of work too. You saw how much that ball moved away from Zayed. We've talked about the variations of Dane Pete. So skillful, taking international wickets at the highest level. Think about the wickets of the likes of Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, Murli Vijay, Shikhar Dhawan. Now we'll see Karthikeya Jagdish, leg spinner. Ball in hand, chance of a run out. Zing bells light up, finger stays down. Zayed's well home. Again, Rishi Pandey, this is what he brings to a side. He brings this, singles, and in a T20 match when you can just keep the runs flowing, even if they're not boundaries, you can set the game up. We've heard so many times the game is won and lost between over 7 and 15. Whoever wins that phase tends to win the match. This one cut away from cover inside the ring. It'll be 1. Bring Rishi Pandey back onto strike. And since Rishi Pandey's found strike, remember he was taken off for 13 deliveries. He's found real rhythm. He's gotten the game back for the Atlanta Fire. Just starting to falter with the run rate. Karthikeya Jagdish, a highly rated leg spinner for the Raptors, was a key fixture. This one swung all around it. Rishi Pandey looking to access the leg side. I'm just going to mention how Jagdish has a 4-wicket haul under his belt in minor league cricket and nearly got his first wicket of the day. The former Rishi Pandey there. This one, bottom edge of the bat again. You can just see that little bit of two-faced nature in the wicket. And it'll bring Zayed back onto strike, and for Zain Zayed, he's got a couple of 4s, 25 from 24. Just gonna need to find a way to keep the boundaries flowing, field spread out, Typical for the leg spinner, the deep backward square, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and that deep cover fielder. So plenty of gaps along the leg side. Something that Jagdish does often. We see a lot of these bowlers, and you continue to see it. Just a little pump fake. Seems to be almost a copyrighted move there. Pushes into the offside. Chance of a single. They're going to get it again. It's quick running. These two have decided they're going to run these, and that's why they're making it. It's not something that they're deciding in the moment. They felt, okay, if it gets to this area, we're going to go for one. Again, it was a good pickup, good throw. There's nothing wrong with the fielding there. It's just Rishi Pandey knew he was going to take off no matter what in that situation. And plenty of fans around, not just of minor league cricket, of USA cricket as well. The under 15 nationals happening behind us. This one into the leg side. It'll be one out to the man sitting there at deep cow corner. And that'll close out the 8th over. Not a boundary in it, but still a good one for the Atlanta Fire. 8 overs gone, 52 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Dane Beat back into the attack. Good work there from Rishi Pandey. He'll pick up one into the leg side. Real confident looking strokes here from the youngster. Abhiram Bolasetti out there in the deep. Youngster to another youngster. Again, Rishi Pandey, he's come in and he's done the job well. Again, we'll see it. He's 9 off 12, but the way he's impacted the innings, just saying, hey, we're going to run, has changed the game. Zayed is bowled, looking to just go and play all around it. This is what Dane Pete does so well. We've seen him with all the variation. Zayed just try to force the boundary shot there, try to go into out, and instead just opened up the stumps. It's a good cameo from him. He scores 26 runs, but Dane Pete gets the last laugh. And the Raptors, they claim their second wicket here in the 9th over. Can you take another look at this? Dane Pete, again, just look at the variation. Look at the difference here. Zayed looking to just go in and out on it, and the key there, he just swung around it. Didn't turn in as much as he thought as well. That's what Dane Pete does so well. That's why he's so highly coveted, highly rated, not just around minor league cricket, but around the world. And so from one batter to the next, it's going to be Aaron Jones, the captain. So we've got a Captain Royale in the middle. Aaron Jones, the vice captain of the USA national team, and has represented the Atlanta Fire in each of the previous couple of seasons. Had really a revelation of a T20 career since minor league cricket has really figured out his game, and I think there were a lot of questions and concerns in 2022 entering the playoffs with how he played in that USA series prior to that, but came in and just found rhythm straight away. Loves playing on turf. He's going to love that he has turf on his home ground in Atlanta, the Spuddenveers Cricket Complex. Aaron Jones, he's a good player of spin as well, so he'll like starting off with Dane Pete. But if Dane Pete can get this wicket early, he can just set up the game. It can change the outlook. You would say since the wicket of Kennard Lewis, it's been Atlanta's game. They've gotten the singles. It's still nothing to run away with yet. Projected score of 130. So still well in the grasp of the Morrisville Raptors. There's no question about that. We just felt the game was being set up. A couple wickets could change that. Big turn that time. I think it's come off a part of Aaron Jones as well. But again, some turn on offer. I think that's definitely come off a part of Aaron Jones. Yeah, giving leg buys there. And now we'll get Rishi Pandey, who, again, he's very accustomed to batting with senior members, very experienced players. So He knows the job. In the air, in the leg side. Find one. Rishi Pandey is doing the job so well. Again, you're going to hear me like a broken record, it feels, but this is what the Atlanta Fire were missing all of last week. Someone to stick in. You just don't want to ask your senior members to do that, especially the explosive firepower of Aaron Jones, Obis Pinar, Jamar Hamilton. You don't want to ask them to be sticks at the other end, to be just rotationary pieces. Tickled, but not tickled well enough. It's the arm ball that from Dame Pete, the other one. I think Aaron Jones thought it was going to keep going down to the leg side, but instead came back on him. Got Dame Pete mixing it up well here. This time beats the outside edge of Aaron Jones. Dame Pete, he's getting some good bounce, getting some good turn. It's a good over for the Morrisville Raptors. A wicket falling in it. 9 overs gone, 55 for 2. Karthikeya Jagadish will be back in for his second over. Rishi Pandey goes big, and he gets all of it. Rishi Pandey, we've talked about it. Might be little in stature, but there's nothing little about the bat. He's got a maximum there. 6 runs for the youngster. Again, as we've had quite a while without a boundary, couple of overs, and so that will just add a little bit of impetus. He's been in the middle for a while, and this is the key of Rishi Pandey. Yes, we talk about a single double player, and he'll continue to do that, but he can do this if given the ball. Saw it just trailing down the leg side, and plenty of power, plenty of bat speed. This time through the offside, well fielded there, a short cover. There's Ryan Wiggins there. Another one of the veteran leadership group of the Morrisville Raptors. We're going to see his exploits with the bat. Came in at number 3 in the Raptors' last match against the Baltimore Orioles. That was about 3 weeks ago. This one, quick single taken to mid-off, and that's Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy there. Again, that ball just kind of holding up in the grass, and that's the key. There's a single there, and that's something to watch for the rest of the Fire batters, for the Raptors innings as well. There's a single in that area. Getting hotter with each passing minute. Clouds shifting away. There's a good breeze moving from the left to right of your screen. Again, not many clouds in the sky, so it's a good day to bat. Packed leg side field. Deep mid wicket, cow corner, long on, long off. Covers. And just fended away there from Aaron Jones. 2 leggies going at it. In the middle, looks like Aaron Jones can't get away from any of the contests. He's got the captain, Royale. Now he's got the leg spinner, Royale. Aaron Jones, known for what he does, spinning the ball away from the right-hander. Again, the bat is the main X point, but when you can get it over, 2 overs, 3 overs, 4 of Aaron Jones, just adds another element to the side. Again, he's a wicket taker, and we'll see if he bowls today. Didn't bowl too much last weekend, just an over, I believe. Big swing, big miss. Looking to go over the top of covers, but Karthikeya Jagadish, he's done well. That's the halfway stage of this first innings. It's 62 for 2.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Dane Pete back. And Rishi Pandey will get a single straight away. This is an innings for Rishi Pandey to remember so far. And again, after being left out of the side last week, would feel that he has a point to prove to the Fire management and to the captain at the other end, Aaron Jones, saying, I need to be in this team. I'm valuable. I can help us win games. And he's doing just that so far. Flied it up, Aaron Jones. This is the one knock on Aaron Jones, if you will. Just say he starts off so slow that it just ruins momentum. And Aaron Jones, again, highly coveted. So get a single flicked. Chance of a run out at the bowler's end. Go get it in the end. Rishi Pandey was off in a hurry, and Aaron Jones responded to the call. Opens up his accounts with the bat in hand. But speaking of Aaron Jones, again, just sometimes he's knocked him at the USA setup. Just would play too many dot balls. You want to fix that quickly. Again, flicked off the hips. They'll get a single out into the leg side. This is good. Good running. Again, understanding that you're not going to score many boundaries on Dane Pete. He's not going to give you too many of those loose deliveries. You're going to have to really work for those. So, get the singles. Get to 5 to 8 runs in the Dane Pete overs. Give up. You already lost 1 wicket, but if you don't give up any more, you feel like you've won that battle. Pushed, and they'll get a single. Again, smart batting here from the Atlanta Fire. Setting up the game are these two. Aaron Jones can attack some of the other non-experienced bowlers. I think he could even take on an Everroy Dyer, Rashesh Behera, Abhiram Bolasetti, Aditya Badala. He'd fancy himself against them. Just is not going to want to take on Dane Pete. Dane Pete, also fresh off the U.S. Masters T10, had a couple of big innings there. Game where he took 2 wickets and was good for the Morrisville Unity and their claim to the playoffs. In the leg side again, and he's got all of it. We just talked about probably aren't going to score too many boundaries on Dane Pete. Rishi Pandey says, watch me do it, and does it in quite style. Cries of Rishi now. Chance for Rishi Pandey. Just take a look. Just given the width on that occasion. Length, there wasn't too much wrong with it, but with that width, Rishi Pandey backs himself to go long. And access long on. There was a fielder there, but it was well over him. Straight into the dugout of the Morrisville Raptors. Add salt to the wound there. 11 overs have gone. It's 72 for 2, and Rishi Pandey starting to flow. He's moved into the 20s now. 25 from 19 is Rishi Pandey. He's going well. He's going to want to keep doing what he's doing because he's able to keep playing at this rate and keep the singles flowing, get that odd boundary. He's going to set up this game up nicely for the Atlanta Fire. They're going to want to start off well. Both teams will, especially the Fire, who have dropped 2 games last week. Morrisville Raptors, they're 1-1 coming into this week. This is a big weekend for them. So they're going to want to get a win off straight away because it just takes pressure out the rest of your weekend. If you drop a game in the middle, feel, okay, we had that early win. You'd like as many wins as possible, but Karthikeya Jagadish is going to have to change something here for the Raptors. Big shout, big shout. Aaron Jones has been given. I think it's caught just a bit of the bottom edge from Aaron Jones, looking to pull it. Stayed maybe a touch low. I want another look at that, but Hanchard Hamilton was up in a hurry, and Karthikeya Jagadish, doing exactly what he was called upon to do, takes the wicket, and the big one of the USA vice captain and the Atlanta Fire captain. Take a look at this from Jagadish. We talked about the variable bounce all day. Plenty of turn, and yeah, I think it's come off of something because that ball died in a hurry. So Aaron Jones, he has to go. And the Raptors, they're on cloud 9 at the moment. And again, Karthikeya Jagadish getting that big wicket, bringing in the 3rd wicket, and he'll bring in a man the Morrisville Raptors would know well, and a man who knows the Morrisville Raptors quite well. It's Obis Pinar. And if you remember, Obis Pinar was the number 4 for the Morrisville Raptors last season. Scored the fastest 100 in minor league cricket for the Raptors last season. Now going against his former team. It's the 3rd team in 3 years for Obis Pinar, starting in St. Louis with the Americans. Went to the Morrisville Raptors and now down with the Atlanta Fire. Quality player, high quality. U.S. Masters T10 was an incredible run scorer for the Morrisville Unity. He'll start off facing teammate from last season, Karthikeya Jagadish. And Karthikeya beats him all hands up there. Gets through the outside edge of the bat. Looking at attack covers. And again, this is a matchup both sides would want to win. I think there's always that little bit of, you're my formal team. Yeah, friends with you guys, love you guys, want to battle with you guys, but want to beat you guys now. Pulled well. We'll get a single off of it to get off the mark. Will Obis Pinar. As the scoreboard continues to tick further and further for the Atlanta Fire, they try to claw their way up. We saw 150, 160, a score that would give you some confidence. Pulled out of it, Karthikeya Jagadish. And 73 runs on the board here. This one, again, the bottom half of the bat. A little bit of extra bounce that time for Karthikeya Jagadish. And again, he's someone who's so skilled. The googly comes out of nowhere, really. And so just want to be very diligent about watching it, not expecting the leg spinner on every delivery. Again, Rishi Pandey stands like a modern T20 player, a little bit open, a little bit vertical. This one gets through. I think it might be bat. I want to see the umpire signal there, but at least be a run there for Rishi Pandey and the Fire. Yeah, it looks like it did come off a bit of the bat there. Beats Hansard Hamilton. Karthikeya Jagadish, he's asking all the right questions. I'm not sure how that quite missed stumps too. It got through the legs of Hamilton. Might have just missed off stump. Brings back Obis Pinar. And defended away to close out this 12th over. A good over, just 2 runs coming from it. And the Morrisville Raptors, they get also the Atlanta Fire captain at the end of 12. It's 74 for 3.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Dane Pete. Taken into the leg side. We'll get a single there, Pandey. They might push for 2. No. Sends him back, Obis Pinar, rightfully so. And Rishi Pandey, he's so active to go get that second run. Even then, off the misfield, was looking for it. Now here's the matchup I'm excited for right now. Dane Pete and Obis Pinar both came to the Morrisville Raptors together last season. Still very good friends. Both of South African origin. You know they would want to have bragging rights in this matchup. It would be the first matchup between the two. So Obis, I'm sure, will want to take Dane for some runs, and Dane will want to get this wicket and be a monster one for the Raptors as well. Gets the inner half of the bat. Dane Pete, he's asking all the questions today. He's been on the money. Has Dane Pete. It's looked very, very good in the overs in which he's bowled. Bowling himself out here. Keeping Obis Pinar at bay so far. Hasn't been able to score yet, Obis. We know he can get going in a hurry. Very good on turf as well. It up in the air, over the top of covers. It won't be the fielders. No, a fumble. But does well. Aditi Badala there to fix up the spill. Clean up the mess made by Rashish Behera. They'll pick up a couple of runs there, and Obis Pinar intentionally taking that one through the top of covers. It's good work from Pinar finding the run scoring option. That's huge. It's in the air, and that's going to be gone. Obis Pinar, he's got such long levers, such strong arms. Takes that one all the way over for 6. We saw Rishi Pandey send one in that area, and Dane Pete's previous over. This time, Obis Pinar gets in on the act. He'll find a monster 6 there. So bragging rights right now going to Pinar. Pulling out of it. is Dane Pete. The score moving into the 80s after that. 83 runs on the board. As this one's tucked into the leg side, just straight to mid-wicket. It'll close out the 13th over. And at the end of 13, it's 84 for 3. $83 for 3 here in the 13th over. The Atlanta Fire starting to pick things up. Karthikeya Jagadish back into the attack. They'll pick up one with a Fire and just settle for it. Obis Pinar got himself going, got some runs on the board. That big 6 off Dane Pete. A real game changer in the context of the match. And if he can get going, this could be a huge total that the Morrisville Raptors will have to chase. Try to run it down. Rishi Pandey stranded halfway. He'll get back in the end. Just looking to run it through. Third man was Obis Pinar. Like the length from Karthikeya Jagadish. Saw Dane Pete get too full and get punished for it. He's keeping it on that good length and letting the ball turn from there. There's plenty of turn on offer for the spinners. Swiped at it. A little bit of extra bounce. This is the key. If we talk about the wickets here, it's going to be all about the bounce. It's very difficult to sweep on this wicket. For those of you who tuned in to the League Two World Cup qualifiers, the ODI ones back in May and June of 2022, would have seen Sam Plummer's wickets, and they would have seen that it's hard to sweep on those wickets. Don't want to sweep when the ball's on stumps. Run down to third, no run on offer. Jagadish, he's honing in the runs. Just as you thought maybe the Atlanta Fire would start to pick things up after that 6 from Obis Pinar, just being brought back. Straight down the ground, pulled back and taken away. Thought Jagadish was doing the trick, but Obis Pinar just needs one ball to fall into his zone. And gets that one, sends it up the hill, and is racing all the way around. 6 runs that for Obis Pinar, his second 6 of the day. And the Atlanta Fire, we want to see plenty more of this. This is what we saw with the Raptors in 2022, what we saw with the U.S. Masters T10 just a couple of weeks ago from Obis Pinar. Again, much better option as well, accessing straight down the ground rather than sweeping. Pulled away, they'll pick up a single. This is smart. This is smart batting from Obis Pinar. Gets his boundary, gets out of the over. And at the end of 14, it's 91 for 3. Well, the Atlanta Fire, they've refueled with some Lakshmi foods because they're starting to find some boundaries with regular ease. Some pace being brought back on for the Morrisville Raptors in the form of Everroy Dyer. Dyer started off well for the Morrisville Raptors, had a maiden in his very first over. Second over went for 8 runs and has a wicket as well to his name, so we'll see what he can do. Don't want to give any width to Obis Pinar. Down the track, beats them all together. Good reaction there from Everroy Dyer. Seeing Hubis attack Dyer, and also that ball staying low as well. You can see signaled from Obis Pinar. It's something to keep your eye on as we get through Labor Day weekend, get through all the games on this wicket. 2 a day on this wicket, so just wanting to see how it holds up, how the ball tends to bounce. This one, run through point, they'll get the single. It was a good stop there, but unable to save any runs was Ryan Wiggins inside the ring. And Everroy Dyer, again, someone who likes to hit the deck. He's someone who gets slight movement just based off the angle of the way the arm comes in. Rishi Pandey, he's played well, 28 from 23. Got himself going as well. In the air, pulled. It's not all of it. It's going to fall short of the fielder out in the deep. Trayvon Griffith gets a snazzy one-handed grab as well. Everything we talk about Trayvon Griffith is just nonchalant. Doesn't seem to be trying to do too much. He's just so effortless in the field. It'll pick up a single, Rishi Pandey. 93 runs on the board. Run down to backward point, chance. They'll get there. Again, this is good running, good running. They've decided on it. Again, this is all pre-delivery. This is pre the shot. Yes, they can call out of it, but they are looking to run those singles, and because both parties are looking to run, they're making these quick singles, and they're making them look easy. It's going to take a brilliant piece of fielding for the Raptors to get them out because they're so far off the mark. They're so quick off the blocks. Good way to get the runs flowing when the boundaries aren't coming. Tucked into the leg side, they'll find that single. This is good. This is really good. Again for the Atlanta Fire. Looking right now to score of 130 as we have huge gusts of wind blowing from the right to the left of your screen. Long off being put in place now. This one ticked down the leg side. They'll pick up a single. Will the Atlanta Fire and Obis Pinar. Again, a good over for the Morrisville Raptors. No boundaries coming from it, so they'll take that. 15 overs gone, 96 for 3.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Back in here in this 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. Aditya Badala with ball in hand into Obis Pinar. No run on offer there. This is what I like also from the Morrisville Raptors. Hanchard Hamilton, new to the team. First game for the Raptors, and now he's up at the stumps. And now you have a keeper of Hanchard Hamilton's caliber. You're able to do this kind of tactic. We saw it a lot with Lahiru Malanta with the Raptors last season. Up to the stumps for Badala. Keep the batter rooted. Hanchard Hamilton doing the same. Taken into the offside. We'll get one through covers. And again, when we talk about Hanchard Hamilton and his exploits with the gloves, someone who is just so good there. So good there, and again, that's why he's up at the stumps. It keeps the batters rooted, doesn't let them attack in advance. Badala. Straight down the ground, hasn't got all of it. Fielder settles, no, won't get there. Just short, just falling short was cow corner. Running in, it was Karthikeya Jagadish. Nearly the wicket of Rishi Pandey. Would have been a big one, that Rishi Pandey. He's gotten off well. 30 runs to his name now. Plenty of cricket happening here. This one's staying low on Obis Pinar. Badala does well. Backpedaling, nearly falling over too on the artificial wicket that's planted right next to the turf wicket. And again, great facilities here at the Buttonveers Cricket Complex. That's why we have so many games happening here over Labor Day for minor league, but also talk about the USA under 15 nationals. Straight down the ground, Obis Pinar, take a bow. That's a huge 6, hits the Lakshmi board as well. We know he's had his Lakshmi foods before today's match because that's his third 6 of the day. Obis Pinar does well there, moves the scoreboard to 100 for the Atlanta Fire. And setting the game up nicely here in the last 5. Again, if you're Aditya Badala, want to operate at a length just slightly shorter than where you are. Don't want to be that full with Hamilton up at the stumps. Slows it down, run into the offside. They'll get the single also. I think he's well home. Yeah, Rishi Pandey, he's quick. He's off in a hurry. He's been a lightning bug out there. And we'll get that single to close out the 16th over. It's 105 for 3.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
Rashish Behera, he'll come in here in the 17th over. 105 for 3 are the Atlanta Fire. And Obis Pinar, he's getting himself going. He's 27 from 22. As Evroy Dyer being called inside the ring at third man. Rishi Pandey, 31 from 26. Been 2 good innings in the middle for the Fire. Been just what they needed to bounce back from 2 losses last week. Makes some room, gets it through the offside, work to do for cover, and he won't get there. It'll be 4 runs. Obis Pinar, he's so good through the offside. You can see him make room early and just spread his hands through the ball. Nothing cover could really do about that one. Powerfully struck, brings up 4 runs there. This is big from the former Morrisville Raptor. Showing the value, the immense value that Obis Pinar has, not just with the bat, but we'll see it with the ball later today too. Only bowled the 1 over last weekend, but would have to imagine they'll utilize him more today. In the air, away, just enough, and it'll be 4 more through the same area. He's finding a liking to Rashish Behera, back-to-back boundaries to open up the 17th. Again, it was in the air for a moment, but because of the width on offer, all he had to do was just turn it behind square. Once he got it behind square, it was going to be 4 all the way, no deep third, and I think that's what Dane Pete's going to go tell his bowler, and maybe ask him to be fuller. Because of the fact you don't have that third man out, maybe try to be fuller, or if you're going to be on that length, roll your fingers over it, slow it down. Don't let him just use the pace to take it behind square. Yeah, it does slow it down, but it's down the leg side. Well kept from Hanchard Hamilton. It's also come off the pad of Obis Pinar, so won't end up in a wide. Comeback ball that from Rashish Behera. You can see the ploy again, taking pace off, making Pinar hit in front of square. Also attacking the legs. There is a deep backward square. So could afford to be straight with the field he has in place. All kinds of movement for Pinar. Does well. Does Bahera into the gap for 1. Good throw in from the deep as well. That from Ryan Wiggins, who's been active at backward point. But Obis Pinar, that's when you know you're in some kind of a rhythm, when you can walk all the way to the leg side wide line, then walk back to leg stump and be ready and feel very comfortable just to run it down to third man. Obis Pinar's found real rhythm, found full flow. Third man now back, long off inside the ring for Rishi Pandey. Again, this would tend to mean you're going to be back of a length. Is full, and he'll hit it to covers. Interesting decision, did take pace off, but will only result in a single. Brings Obis Pinar back onto strike, and again, some people will scoff at the scorecard at Rishi Pandey, and will scoff at the 32 runs he's put on the board. Say maybe just a touch too slow, but he's been the key. This is the exact opposite of the Atlanta Fire in their matches last weekend. Outside edge, they'll find 4, full wide. That was always going to be 4 runs. Not where you need to be. If you're going to be full, you be straight onto stumps. You have the fielders in that position, and it's a big over for the Atlanta Fire. 17 gone. It's 119 for 3. Everroy Dyer's got ball in hand. He's operating from the opposite end in which he started the match. Interesting decision. 119 on the board for the Atlanta Fire. Rishi Pandey to face. Hit up in the air. Fielder settling. Yep, effortless. Effortless as that man we talk about, Trayvon Griffith, makes everything look effortless. That ball was in the air for a while, but it brings about the end of Rishi Pandey. It's a good innings for Rishi Pandey. 32 from 28, 2 sixes to his name, and now this is exactly what the Atlanta Fire would have wanted. You have the last 2 and a couple overs here, and you now let Jamar Hamilton come into the middle. You let your big hitter come into the middle, and that's going to be the key. That's what you want. I think Jamar Hamilton might have just scurried off into the restroom, and that's going to be the holdup. Yeah, he's running out with the pads on now and ready to go into the middle. Smiles on the face of Jamar Hamilton, always expressive. And again, Rishi Pandey having word with Viraj Vaghela there, but again, wasn't in the 11 last weekend, in the 11 this weekend, and that's the key for me why the Atlanta Fire has had a much successful inning so far. A fist bump from Jamar Hamilton as Pandey walks off. Applause from the team as well. Jamar Hamilton now, he's the man in the middle, and he is the big hitter that is going to be needed for the Atlanta Fire. It's a dream situation for him. Can hit a couple of balls, can give Obis Pinar a strike to go big, but we'll now have Jamar Hamilton, the man. And again, he's a huge hitter, Jamar Hamilton, someone who can just take the boundaries with such ease and is able to just, again, accelerate. We saw it at Church Street Park for the finals, and these are the situations he's built for. Also very expressive. If you want to watch cricket without watching the ball, you can watch Jamar Hamilton and have a great time. Whether he's behind the stumps with the bat in hand, he's going to be yelling, he's going to be screaming, pointing around. I cannot wait for the Fire to start bowling, because when he's behind the stumps, there's no more entertaining person in cricket. But right now, he's facing Everroy Dyer. And he'll start off with a dot ball. Good work there. Ryan Wiggins has been active inside the ring. And does well to keep that one. That one had beat him. Could have possibly gone all the way for 4 through backward point and third man. Dyer again hitting a hard length. And I think you're going to want to be on that length for Jamar Hamilton. Tends to like it full. Tends to like to hit through cow corner. That one up on to Hamilton. Again, just that bit of extra bounce that Dyer's getting with the way he's attacking the wicket. Obis Pinar, the man at the non-striker's end. He's moved his way into the 40s. Obis Pinar off just 27 deliveries. Remember, was just a touch slow to start. Maybe 1 off 4, but has found real rhythm wide from Everroy Dyer. Can't afford that, but you can see Jamar Hamilton just hanging there. He's just hanging, waiting for it. Again, if you're Dyer, keep the length. I would rather be a little too short to Jamar than a little too full, because if you're a little too full, he'll take you for 6. With the way the wicket's playing, you can just use it with balls on a length. Fuller, slower, worked into leg side to bring Obis Pinar on to strike. Again, Everroy Dyer has been really good. It was a real spot of question for the Morrisville Raptors, the pace. Who was going to fill the role left by Colin Archibald, by Matthew Ford, by Sivakumar Duvparapu? Who was going to fill that role? And Everroy Dyer has filled it nicely with the likes of Abiram Bolasetti and Rashish Behera around him. Dyer's been a real stay. That one beats Obis Pinar through and through. Hanchard Hamilton likes it. No big appeals anywhere else. Dane Pete has his hands on his knees. He thought it was out. Maybe just the bat brushing onto the pad there from Obis Pinar. But again, Everroy Dyer is doing really well. Again, when you're on a length, you just get rewarded on this wicket. Pulled into leg side. No fielder out there. That one is going to be another 6. Obis Pinar, he's just putting a beating on the Morrisville Raptors. He's gone to 46 off just 28 deliveries, and he's taking a liking to this wicket. He's taking a liking to his new home here in Atlanta. 18 overs are gone. It's 127 for 4. But how about this? Obis Pinar, 46 from 29 deliveries, 3 4s, 4 6s. He's setting up the game nicely with 2 overs to go. The 50's well in reach for him. And again, we talked about how 130 looked to be where the Fire were going to get if Rishi Pandey and Zain Zayed kept going the way they were going. But I said, and why I said I still thought the Fire were ahead of the game at that point was because of all these hitters in the back. They were able to do these things. We've seen them do it. Very experienced middle order. Aaron Jones, Obis Pinar, Jamar Hamilton. These guys are known for what they could do, hitting the ball down the ground, scoring quickly. And Rashish Behera, after an over I think he'd like to forget to Obis Pinar in the 17th, he'll be back with ball in hand, bowling to Jamar Hamilton. A little bit of a different threat, Jamar Hamilton. Again, a packed leg side field. You got now backward square comes inside the ring, but it's mid-wicket in the deep, long on, deep covers, deep backward points. I think long off will also go into play. So I'm curious to see the length that we see here from Behera. Again, I would like to see him on a length. He does have that Yorker, and I think he might try to go to it. But when you miss on the wicket, you have better odds, it seems, the way this Buttonfeeders Cricket Complex is playing. Full wide, pushed out. There'll be 1. Bring Obis Pinar back on to strike. Dane Pete, he's moving the field around for Obis Pinar. Again, knows Obis well. Those 2 friends, both of South African origin, both played for the Morrisville Raptors last season. And just a switch there in the offside in the field. Same field set, new players and new positions. Rashish Behera to continue. Obis Pinar, he's on 46. Outside edge, fielder there. Rohan Futke underneath it, takes it. Obis Pinar is going to miss out on his 50. But Rohan Futke, well taken, well judged. Never looked like he got all of it. And even without getting all of it, still got plenty of it to get to that boundary line. But Rohan Futke does well. Rashish Behera rights the wrongs of that 17th over. But take nothing away from that man, Obis Pinar. Did really well. Take a look at the replay. Again, a great catch from Rohan Futke. But take nothing away from Obis Pinar as the Raptors are in high spirits. This is a man who's gotten the innings back in for the Atlanta Fire. 46 from 30 deliveries. Is going to feel like he's missed out, but the 3 4s and 4 6s he hit vital to the match. Set up the game for Jamar Hamilton and Cornet drying out. Cornet Dry, the new man in the middle, and he's no slouch with the bat in hand either. Nearly a 50 for him last weekend against the Atlanta Lightning. Was a game that just felt like the Lightning had under complete control. Got up to 25 from the last 2 overs. And now has a license to swing. He showed the ability to play those innovative strokes. If you watched last week's broadcast, you would have seen he's someone who likes to play those paddle sweeps and likes to ramp it through the leg side and likes to play through fine leg. So fine leg inside the ring with pace off comes into play. Here we go, Cornet Dry, first delivery from Behera. Straight down the ground, it's in the air. Dane Pete's got a lot of work to do to get underneath it. Does well, the captain. He takes the catch. Had to make up a lot of ground there to Dane Pete. And Rashish Behera's got 2 and 2. Cornet Dry has to go. Again, had the license to swing big, went for it. And just sliced it all together. And even then, even there, still not a complete certainty that that catch was going to be taken. Dane Pete had to run a long ways in and made it look really easy. Dane Pete smile on his face after that as well. Good catch from him. And it'll bring out the new man into the middle. Nasser Hussain. Nasser Hussain, he's coming into the middle. The ex-Bangladeshi national.
For 7. Oh, wait.
Nasser Hussain, he's into the middle with now a hat trick ball. Don't know if he'll be too worried about that. Just be worried about getting into the next over. Jamar Hamilton's almost been stranded at the non-striker's end after that initial single. Rashish Behera coming back well. Field unchanged for the hat trick ball. What does he have in store? On a length, stays low. Not a hat trick, but a good 3-ball spell here from Behera. 2 balls to come in the over. Jenna, I think it's 128 for 6. Behera will have 2 deliveries left here. Again, Nasser Hussain, someone who, again, has that ability with the bat, can come in and hit the big long ball. More known for what he does with the ball in hand, has some work to do with the bat. Full wide, he's got enough of it. That's 4 runs. Went for the wide Yorker. Nasser Hussain does really well. Always a tough shot there. Got the hands down late, looked to make room, and found himself 4 runs through third man. It's a good way to break some of that pressure. Third man now drops back as Dane Pete comes inside the ring. The Morrisville Raptors had an opportunity to get out of this over with the score under 130. And they would have felt really good about this, especially where the game was with Obis Pinar striking the way he was, to get him out, to get Cornet Dry out. And to keep this, if you can keep it under 140, this is a game that could really shape into the Morrisville Raptors' advantage. Net run rate is going to be a key here in this tournament. The Baltimore Royals have a huge net run rate advantage. Big swing, a big miss. Good way to close out the over for the Morrisville Raptors. 2 wickets coming in it, and at the end of 19, it's 132 for 6. So here we go. Final over for this first innings and the Atlanta Fire. Jamar Hamilton scored a run in that 19th over and then watched the rest of the over unfold at the non-strikers end. Saw two of his partners in and out. Aditya Badala now bowling to Jamar Hamilton. Pulled, and I think he's got all of it. Yeah, he has. Jamar Hamilton, big, powerful, saw the ball on the leg stump and took it all the way for 6 runs. Jamar Hamilton, how about this? This is going to be the key now. 140 is going to be a tough score to chase on this wicket. That ball just sat up, asked to be hit. Again, I don't think the length was too big of an issue here. It was just the line to me on that leg stump, and that's where I was just asking and inviting him to hit. Again, just take a look at that replay. It's just down the leg side. He stands with an open stance, ready for that shot. Anything in his arc is going to go for 6. You want to push it a little bit away, on off. Fuller, Yorker, perfectly done. You saw Hansard Hamilton have a go in a conversation with Aditya Badala after that 6, and I'm sure there's plenty of banter right now between the two brothers in the middle. Jamar on strike, Hansard close up behind. I'm sure Hansard's having a word with Jamar. I'm sure Jamar's giving it right back, and if Hansard has to come into the middle today, could see fairly similar. Full and straight again, Yorker. Oh, dug out well. How about this? They'll pick up 1, and Hamilton's going to come back for 2 late. And they get it. They get it as well. Wasn't sure they were going to come back for 2 at first, but again, almost for those of you who watch Major League Cricket, like the Nicholas Puran shot to close out the Major League Final. Got the Yorker, dug underneath his legs, and guided run away through fine leg for 4. Very similar shot here. Again, just looking to jam it out. Got the bottom end of the bat. Went through fine leg, picked up 2 runs, brings Jamar Hamilton back to strike. And again, this is who the Atlanta Fire would want to see all of strike here. 4 deliveries to go. 3 deliveries to go. This one's going to run. It's going to run. I don't think it's going to get to the boundary. And Jamar Hamilton's got some work to do to get back. He'll get back in the end as well. They'll pick up 2. It's come off of Hamilton. But Badala has said, I'm going to go full. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to your toes. Hit me there. And again, what I think here for Badala, it just goes to show about the trust and then about just the ability to execute. Badala's been such a key figure for the Raptors. Gets the Yorker right, full straight, takes off the bails. Jamar Hamilton has to go, hits the 1-6, and Aditya Badala responds really well. This is good bowling from the young man. The left arm steamer. Again, we just talked about it. The trust, the control, the ability cleans them up all together. Jamar Hamilton hits 1 lusty blow, then has to go. Not an innings he'll want to speak of or remember. And he'll bring out Milla Aponzo, another one of these Fire members who have just become really a household name. Played in Major League Cricket, did Milla Aponzo. Wasn't able to get into the 11, but was a member of the San Francisco Unicorns. A lot of people talking about he should have been in that team, could have made a real difference, giving you an extra bowling option, but he's here with the bat in hand for the Atlanta Fire. We know he's going to bowl his 4 overs, but he'll have a delivery to really go and try something now. Hit, high, long, handsome, 6 runs. How about that for the strike rate of Milla Aponzo? A 6 off his first delivery, a 6 off the last delivery of the innings, and the Fire, they'll take some momentum into that second innings now. 148 on the board for the Atlanta Fire. You'll talk about that as a very good total on a wicket that seems to have a little bit of a two-faced nature. Something to watch for. The Atlanta Fire did really well, and to me, someone who's not going to get the glory, but someone who did a lot of the hard yards. Rishi Pandey, 32 from 28, 2 sixes, but it was the singles that he did throughout the innings that was the key. Never let the game slip. Never let there be a consecutive couple of pressure overs. Then you talk about Obis Pinar and what he did. 46 from 30, 3 fours, 4 sixes, huge. The former Morrisville Raptor. And then you talk about Emilio Ponzo, 6 off that final delivery. The Morrisville Raptors, not too shabby with the ball, was Everroy Dyer, 4 overs, 21 runs and 2 wickets. Then you also would talk about Dane Pete, 4 overs, 26 runs and a wicket, and Kartikeya Jagadish, 4 overs, 22 runs and a wicket. So when we come back, the Morrisville Raptors, they'll need 149 from their 20 overs. Don't go anywhere here. A lot of exciting cricket to come here at Minor League Cricket and the Paramveers Cricket Complex. From Patel, we're bringing you the broadcast, and don't go anywhere. From Everroy Dyer. Pulled in the air. It's going to fall short of a fielder. Yeah, it's short. It's pulled into that mid-wicket region. It was just vacated. It'll be the first boundary of the day for the Atlanta Fire. So good on the leg side. Straight back. Don't worry about that one. That one has left the building. That's the off. On the legs. There's a shout. I think it's given down leg. No, it's been given straight away. You'd feel good if you're the Atlanta Fire. Outside edge is going to run down to third man, and it'll beat third man. Far too wide. Zayed, maybe not the most convincing bound. Full, straight, punished. Through, wide, long off. It'll be 4. We're going to run. Has changed the game. Zayed is bold, looking to just go and play all around it. Second over. Rishi Pandey goes big, and he gets all of it. Rishi Pandey. We've talked about it. And their claim to the playoffs. In the leg side again, and he's got all of it. We just talked about probably aren't going to score too many boundaries on Dane Pete. Rishi Pandey is going to have to change something here for the Raptors. Big shout, big shout. Aaron Jones has been given. I think it's caught just a bit of the bottom edge option. That's huge. It's in the air, and that's going to be gone. Obis Pinar, he's got such long levers, such strong arms. Straight down the ground, pulled back and taken away. Dot 15 Nationals. Straight down the ground, Obis Pinar, take a bow. That's a huge 6. Hits back from 2 losses last week. Makes some room, gets it through the offside, work to do for cover. And he won't get there. It'll be 4 runs more today. In the air, away, just enough. And it'll be 4 more through the same area. He's finding a liking. That'll matches last weekend. Outside edge, they'll find 4. Full, wide, that was always going to be 4 runs. Hit up in the air. Fielder settling. Yep, effortless as that. Pulled into the leg side. No fielder out there. That one is going to be another 6. 46. Outside edge, fielder there. Rohan Fudke underneath it. Takes it. Obis Pinar's going straight down the ground. It's in the air. Dane Pete's got a lot of work to do to get underneath it. Does well. The captain, he takes the catch. And has some work to do with the bat. Full, wide. He's got enough of it. That's 4 runs. Went for the wide Yorker. Jamar Hamilton. Pulled, and I think he's got all of it. Yeah, he has. Jamar Hamilton for the Raptors. Gets the Yorker right. Full, straight. Takes off the bails. Jamar Hamilton has to go. Hit, high, long, handsome. 6 runs. How about that for the...
You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.
So welcome back here to this 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, where the Atlanta Fire, they're taking on the Morrisville Raptors. You can see pitch creators getting their last bit of pitch work done before the start of the second innings, where the Morrisville Raptors will need 149 runs to win this match, and plenty of action, plenty of stars that we'll be able to get to see here today. You can see the wind moving as well on the screen. And for the Morrisville Raptors, the same opening pair that they had weekend ago. Trayvon Griffith, Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, the man on your screen right now. And they'll have some stuff to do today, have a serious task on their hand to get to that 149 mark. Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy would be accustomed to the situation and the playings here in Atlanta, plays in Atlanta quite often. Here does Vinod Kumar from the Atlanta area, now with the Morrisville Raptors, will impart that wisdom. Trayvon Griffith, however, he's the man who scored 50 odd runs in both the matches that they've played. When we talk about Trayvon Griffith, someone who's amongst the highest run scorers, and he'll have to get some things going straight away off of Nasser Hussain, who will open the bowling here. Interesting decision from the Atlanta Fire. We saw him go pace early in last weekend's affair, but they've elected to go with the ex-Bangladeshi national, the off spinner. And I think after seeing what Dane Pete did, they like that and like what he's able to do, and we'll get to see plenty of Nasser Hussain today. Some with a little bit with the bat. Now he'll have ball in hand. Coming back in for Aaron Jones to company, who's stationed at slip, is Aaron Jones. Can 149 to get, and one of these two batters are going to have to bat through. I like going with the off spinner here for Trayvon Griffith. One, because of the fact that there is turn away from the left-hander, but I also like the fact that you're inviting a little bit of early risk to be taken from Trayvon Griffith. And on a wicket that's hard to sweep on, with the ball staying a touch lower, just could be something to look at and maybe try to get Trayvon Griffith into a false shot. Here we go. First delivery coming from this first over. 149 needed for the Morrisville Raptors. And run through third man, and that'll be the first runs for the Morrisville Raptors. Or bring on to strike Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. Get his first look in the middle. Vinod Kumar currently on strike. He's, again, someone who's played for an Atlanta franchise before, so he'll have his task cut out for him today to try to preserve his wicket. Someone who's known for getting off to fast starts. I'm not sure the Raptors need a fast start. Yes, you want boundaries in the power play. You want to win the power play. But I think the bigger key here is to keep wickets in hand, keep runs flowing, get singles. That's how the Fire got here to 148, and that's how the Raptors can chase it down. And just taken into the offside. No run on offer. You see Athene Subramanian there collecting the ball, doing cleanup. We'll know he has the ball in hand later today, but back to Nasser Hussain. And nowhere to go for Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. Nasser Hussain starting off well. He's starting on a length, keeping things tough for the batters right now. Again, want to attack the stumps on every chance you can. Again, use of the feet and nowhere to go. Nasser Hussain doing really well. Again, saw the use of the feet early, pulled the length back. Is making things happen so far. Just the one run from the over off the bat of Trayvon Griffith. Taken into the offside. Pick up a single there through the leg side rather, and Again, his first runs on the board. To bring Trayvon Griffith back on a strike. Deep mid-wicket out for Trayvon Griffith as well as a long off. And for Trayvon Griffith, don't want to be too risky too early. Want to stick in. You need a batter to bat pretty much through the innings. Inside half of the bat, and no run taken, no run taken. The Atlanta Fire starting off really nicely. A good first over from Nasir Hussain. It's 2 without loss.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Back here in the Buttonveers Cricket Complex, you can see Jeremy Gordon. That's the man on your screen, the bowler. He's got some work to do here. The ex-Canadian national, he'll open things up for the Fire. And won't get a run to start things off there. Jeremy Gordon, he's good on a length. Again, gets some movement away and does a lot of really good things as Jeremy Gordon. Someone who's known for the highlight he had against the Atlanta Fire, that Yorker, Stephen Taylor. This will be pushed into the leg side. They're going to go ahead and pick up a single. Single gotten for the Morrisville Raptors. Now to Trayvon Griffith, and he likes bowling into the left-hander. Does Jeremy Gordon against the, when you talk about Everoy Dyer and that arm angle he gets, very similar for Jeremy Gordon. Comes almost slanted across. It's always going to come back in to that left-hander, so you would expect him to attack the stumps early and try to see if he can get some sideways movement. Not going to be aided by the wicket. We've already talked about the fact that this wicket, very light on grass, very shiny, very sheen. It's going to be about the bounce more so than anything. Trayvon Griffith there on your screen. Jeremy Gordon into bowl. Down the track, advances, and it's going to be 6 runs. How about this one? What a shot that is for Trayvon Griffith. Really spectacular. Trayvon Griffith going down the ground, making look real easy. Trayvon Griffith again for what he can do. We know all of his exploits, knows his ability to really attack and advance and really be spectacular. Taking it to the quick now. This time gonna be a wide to the offside. Well, maybe not gonna be a wide. Wasn't given as a wide. Jamar Hamilton there on your screen. Always expressive, and we'll get to see a lot more of him. No wide signal there from the umpire. Interesting decision that. Back in to Trayvon Griffith. Pulled into the leg side, and it'll be 4 more. It'll be 4 more. This one just past his Raptors teammates. And again, looking good is Trayvon Griffith, getting the runs flowing early. Maybe just a touch too short there. You're good. Was Jeremy Gordon, but finding runs now are the Morrisville Raptors. This is a good way for the second over to go, especially after just 2 runs in the first. Second over going to plan. Jeremy Gordon under a little bit of pressure now. Again, would want to get off to a good start, the Atlanta Fire. Get things going in the off the right foot, but just haven't done that so far. All they've been able to do is give runs to Trayvon Griffith. Stays low. Just pushed away. Good, well watched by Trayvon Griffith. This is going to be the key, though. when we talk about this wicket, that's going to be the key. The delivery staying low. 2 overs gone, 13 without loss.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Back here, Nasser Hussain back with ball in hand, and I have some interesting information that I'll get to a little bit later, but first, Nasser Hussain bowling into Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. Pushed into the offside, no run. Aaron Jones there fires it into Jamar Hamilton. Now, we would have thought Jamar Hamilton and Hanchard Hamilton from the Morrisville Raptors are brothers, but they're actually not. They're just friends. Same last name. Everyone confuses them. They do a lot of similar things together, but Jamar Hamilton, again, expressive there, but they end up just being friends. And maybe, you know what, maybe they are just brothers. Brothers from another mother, as a saying goes, but interesting factoid that is. Down the track, Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, bigger and better, will find 6 runs, much to the delight of his Raptors teammates. This is really good work here from Vinod Kumar, the man who's played in Atlanta, would rely on a lot of his experience. And attacking the off spinner as well, the ball turning back into him, but always dangerous on this type of a wicket. Again down the track, hits straight back. Fielder has some work to do, will do it well. Keeps it to just 1. Really good work by Cornet Dry, the big quick, who is accustomed to opening the opening the bowling, but today he's been having to take a back seat for Jeremy Gordon and Nasser Hussain. This is the matchup. This is the reason Nasser Hussain's been given the new ball. It's for the left-handed Trayvon Griffith. Was paid for some runs. This one in the air for a moment, straight to Rishi Pandey, stationed at short cover. And Rishi Pandey, again, such a good player with the bat in hand. Valuable innings from Pandey today for the Atlanta Fire. Pushed into the offside again, this time to the other cover fielder, Zain Zayed. And that'll close out this 3rd over. At the end of 3, it's 20 without loss. Cornet Dry back into the attack. Start off with the single. Yeah, they'll get it in the end as well. Good running that from the Morrisville Raptors. Cornet Dry coming into his 1st over. Again, usually given new ball responsibilities, and he'll have it here now. Jeremy Gordon going for some runs in his 1st over. Brings back Cornet Dry, who again gets a little bit of extra bounce, and on this wicket, if you can just dig it in, could find some reward. He'll be bowling into Trayvon Griffith now. look for the ramp, unable to get it. Look to take the pace of Cornet Dry over the top of Fine Leg. No Fine Leg inside the ring. A Fine Leg only inside the ring. No one in the deep. And Jamar Hamilton did well to not be fazed by the reaction. We keep it to no run. That's prompted Fine Leg to go back inside the ring and third man inside. So I wonder if Trayvon Griffith now will give himself some room and try to go over the top of third man. He's so inventive in the way he scores. We've seen it plenty of times at Church Street Park. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see him try to access another area. Down the track, misses it altogether. This is really good work. Really good work from Cornet Dry. The big quick is bowling well. Getting some movement away from the left-hander. Something to watch for if you're Trayvon Griffith. Again, this is a good start here from Cornet Dry into his first over. Down the track again, hit into the air. Who wants it? Jamar Hamilton settles underneath it, takes the catch, and there you go. Cornet Dry gets the first wicket. A shake of the hand, shakes everyone's, and Jamar Hamilton, he's taking a good catch. Pats on the back for him all around, and Trayvon Griffith has to go. Jamar Hamilton does really, really well to go ahead and pick up. Again, you can see the fire huddle there, animated for that one. Trayvon Griffith's got to go after scoring some runs for his side. Would have liked to have been in there longer, but the first time this minor league where he doesn't score a 50 in a batting innings and he's cut short because of Cornet Dry. The Atlanta Fire, they're pumping. And it brings out the new man for the Morrisville Raptors, Ryan Wiggins, who will have some work to do in his own right here now for the Morrisville Raptors. Cornet Dry had just built up that pressure, and that was really the key. Couple of dot balls and forced Trayvon Griffith to come down the track, and all Trayvon Griffith could find was a top edge straight back. You see Obis Pinar with the ball in hand right now, shining it up for Cornet Dry. Two big, tall South Africans. That'll be into Ryan Wiggins, the veteran. Played well in his first match with the Morrisville Raptors and that win against the Baltimore Royals. Scored a quick fire 40. Showed his liking to width, so Cornet Dry is going to want to watch that. Would want to be back of a length and be towards the body of Ryan Wiggins. Here we go, Cornet Dry. First delivery in to Ryan Wiggins. Slip in place. Width on offer and it swings away. Cornet Dry bowling well, bowling really well. Again, for Cornet Dry and company, it's going to be about taking these wickets, and we saw a wicket fall early for the Atlanta Fire. To talk about Kenar Lewis dropping in that first over. Now we'll go ahead and talk about Trayvon Griffith. What can these two do now? 2 and 3. Hit. And it ends up being a couple of runs. It'll end up being 4. It'll be 4. It beats Kenar Lewis out there. And Ryan Wiggins gets his account started with that boundary there. An important boundary to close out the 4th over. It's 25 for 1.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Back here, the 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. Take a look. That's our cameraman out there stationed on the platform, bringing you all the great pictures we see today. And it's not just Galibay out there. Junaid also killing it with the cams and making sure we can see all this footage. And for the Atlanta Fire, they're going to go to someone who they know is going to kill it. Samila Alonso, very economical. It's the reason he was picked up in that Major League 10th round, per se, the undrafted round, the wild card round, what they called it. He's got ball in hand, operating to Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. Oh, what a start for Amila Alonso. Beats the outside edge. Amila Alonso, such a cool customer, calm operator. Just gets through his overs, mixes it up well. Looking to cut, a little bit of extra bounce. Bowling well, good start. Again, trusting the wicket. I think that's going to be the key for the bowlers. You have to understand that this wicket's going to help you as a bowler. Not many do. When you find ones that do, you got to take advantage, and Amila Alonso's doing so far here in the 5th. Worked into the leg side, nowhere to go. Good work, just off the gloves. Amila Alonso starting off really nicely. No runs being conceded. Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, we know he likes to be aggressive and likes to go big. Could see the release shot here. Yeah, went for it, but will only find the man inside the ring, Rishi Pandey. Pressure now on Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. Played 4 dot balls. Big in the air. Was it put down? I don't know if it carried. Don't think it carried to Aaron Jones there, but Amila Alonso's asking the right questions. What an over. Could be a maiden. Down the track, and it will be. Amila Alonso, what a start for that man there. It's going to be 5 overs gone. The score's unchanged. It's 25 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट में क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Cornet dry back into the attack for a second over. Starts off well to Ryan Wiggins, attacking the stumps. Again, we saw Ryan Wiggins like width, and so just to do that for Cornet dry. Wiggins, again, a real veteran, someone who's been around the block in terms of the cricketing scene. Highly regarded. You see raw on his bat there. His own brand, and does a lot of coaching back in Morrisville, North Carolina. Someone the youngsters look at in high regard. Bat on ball in the air. It's going to beat everyone inside the ring, and it's going to be a 6, I believe. Yeah, make it 6 runs for Ryan Wiggins. He's getting some boundaries going now. Again, we've talked about him enjoying width. Got just a touch of it, a flavor. It got onto the short ball early. And will find himself 6 runs that. This is exactly what the doctor would have ordered for the Morrisville Raptors. Cornet dry, got to find a way to respond. Again pulled into the leg side. Just be a couple of runs. They're coming back for 2. And they'll get it quite easily in the end out to Kenar Lewis. Again, finding runs, finding the singles and doubles. That's the key here. We just saw a maiden over, which you can't have. And for Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, it's got to be about getting 1s and 2s. That's what it's got to be about for Ryan Wiggins as well. That 6 does a lot, makes it a run a ball over, but getting the 1s and 2s was the key for the Atlanta Fire to get to where they are. Again, not an easy wicket to score on. So going to have to do a lot of work in terms of the running between the wickets. And Ryan Wiggins in the middle for the Morrisville Raptors. Just fixing gloves here, and Cornet Dry will be back into bowl to him. Again, Wiggins has shown the ability to get on the short ball quick. Can we see a fuller delivery? No, just holding his length. Cornet Dry. He's not someone who's going to falter. Making things a little bit tougher for Ryan Wiggins. There on your screen, Cornet Dry. Such a cool customer, so calm, reacts well. Ryan Wiggins would have seen him in 2021 as part of the Morrisville franchise. Now here with the Raptors in 2023. Dry back into bowl. This one in the air for a moment. It ends up being just a single for Ryan Wiggins. Came off the inner half of the bat. Cornet Dry is asking all of the right questions. Cornet Dry, again, someone who operates on a length. He'll be operating into Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy. We'll have his work cut out for him. Just played off a maiden of Emilio Alfonso. What does he have in store now? And that's hit well, hit firmly, and it'll be 4 runs out into the offside. Well done there for Vinod Kumar. Picks up 4 runs, needed that. These two batters love width, and they take advantage when they get it. That'll close out the power play. The score reads 37-1. Well, after this power play, both teams will need to refuel with some Lakshmi foods, because the Morrisville Raptors, another 111 runs to win this match. Well, the Atlanta Fire just got to keep them underneath that here with 14 overs to go. Emilio Alfonso on your screen. He's going to be a key bowler for the Atlanta Fire. If he can pick up some wickets, it'll make the road real tough for the Morrisville Raptors. In to Ryan Wiggins. With edged, given. Emilio Alfonso's up. Jamar Hamilton threw the ball straight in the air. There's a clear nick. And an embrace from his captain. Emilio Alfonso gets his man. And that'll be the end of Ryan Wiggins. Ryan Wiggins there on your screen. Had a couple of lusty blows, but ends up being the end of him. Couldn't just carry that innings forward. That's what the Raptors needed. But they'll take the runs in the fashion in which they got it. And the Atlanta Fire getting some drinks, some much needed ones, as the new batter will find his way into the middle to the and the new batter looks to be Hanchard Hamilton. The left-hander. He's not the brother of Jamar Hamilton, but he'll be the man coming into the middle now. 2 Hamiltons out there in the middle, and again 2 wicketkeeper batters. But Hanchard Hamilton will have his debut here for the Morrisville Raptors. Was a member of the Atlanta Lightning last season. Now into the Morrisville franchise. Morrisville setup. Showed his prowess with the gloves. Now I'll have to show it with the bat in hand. I'll have the lefty bowling into him. I think that's why he's been sent in this position. Amila Ponzo gets that wicket, gets that early breakthrough. That's what they wanted from Amila. Striking right as the power play came to a close. Slip in place as well. Changing the field, ever so active. Jamar Hamilton behind the stumps, changing angles, switching fielders. Brings a fielder inside the ring at mid-wicket. Slip in place, point, mid-off, very straight, very close inside the ring. Hanchard Hamilton, very different bat from a Jamar Hamilton. Likes to take his time to get going. Starts off straight to that fielder that was positioned and stationed by Jamar. Amila Ponzo. Again, just understands his game. And that's the key to his game. It's not anything flashy. He just understands the way he bowls. Just goes about his business. Tucked away. No run on offer. You can see that everybody congregating on the field. Aaron Jones there as well. Sharp stuff. He had a maiden in his first over. Is he in store for a wicket maiden here? Beats Hanchard. It beats Jamar. No run on offer. Sharp stuff from the Atlanta Fire. 2 deliveries to go. No runs on the board here for the Morrisville Raptors. Just faltering quite a bit. Putting a steaming halt to the runs is Amila Ponzo. Again, it's the length in which he bowling. That time bounced a little extra. Outside edge. It'll beat the man inside the ring. It'll be the first runs off Amila Ponzo. 1 delivery to go here. And this over will have Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, who did not show any ability to play or get Amila Ponzo away. He likes the cover area. He likes to hit with width. But Amila Ponzo, with the angle back into the right-hander, is so experienced, so talented, and trusts his skills. Keeps everything around the stumps. Very tough to put bat on ball. On the pads, big shout, fingers lifted. Amila Ponzo, he's off to the races. He's picked up another wicket, and everyone's around that man, the left arm spinner. He's doing wonders here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. And another wicket falling. Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, the man on your screen. Again, we've talked about it, never looked comfortable. And the score now for the Morrisville Raptors, 38 for the loss of 3 after 7. What was looking like a promising run chase has turned in favor of the Atlanta Fire. The Atlanta Fire, they're up in spirits. And the new batter looks like it's going to be Dane Pete. He's got bat in hand. Would not have expected to be in the middle at this stage in the 8th over. But Amila Ponzo has made it so. And the Atlanta Fire, you can see how many people are congregated around the pitch. They're up, they're active. And if things looked dire for the Morrisville Raptors, the Atlanta Fire have now brought in one of their premier strike bowlers, Atindra Subramanian. He might be a young man, but he's so experienced, talking to the captain. And he just bowls all the variations well, does everything very well. Part of that USA Under-19 team that just qualified for that World Cup, Under-19 World Cup in Sri Lanka. So, you know, he's pumped about that. Got back from Canada a couple weeks ago, last weekend rather. And we'll look to get off to a good start here. Here we go with Supermanian for his first delivery to Hamilton. Beats Hanchard and Jamar. He's loving it behind the stumps. So expressive back there. Again, and what we talked about with the Padala and what Hanchard Hamilton did for him, similar can be said about what Jamar Hamilton's doing for Tindra Supermanian. Up at the stumps, keeping the batter rooted to the spot, not letting them tee off and go at Supermanian, making them play from the crease, making them have to deal with the variations, making them have to deal with the wicket. Pushed. They're gonna head. Quick single taken. Oh, that looks out. The zing bail's lit up, but the stump lit up, but the bails are not off. The bails are not off. It's lit up. I think he's hit it in time. Jamar Hamilton's got his hands on his hips because he's frustrated because there was a direct hit. The ball has made contact with the stump there, but the bail is not lifted. Just one of the intricacies of modern cricket. You would have to chalk it up to. Shares a laugh with Dane Pete at the striker's end, hands on his head as well. We'll get to see Tindra Supermanian continue. Quick singles taken and nearly the end of Hanchard Hamilton. The Bills give him a second life. But Dane Pete now will get his first look at Supermanian today. Remember, Supermanian got Pete's wicket in the last matchup between these two sides at Church Street Park. This one pushed into the leg side, beats the man inside the ring. And he'll pick up a single off the mark straight away is Dane Pete. And again, this is going to be the key. Yes, wickets falling. Wickets have fell, but now it's about getting those runs, making sure that you can get the singles and the doubles and keep things flowing. Supermanian, he started off well on the money. Pushed. They'll find one down the ground. This is going to be the key. This is how the Raptors should operate for the next couple of overs, just because it gives you the best opportunity to tee off later. Yes, you're already 3 wickets down, and you know you don't have too many big bats left. You're going to talk about the likes of Abiram Bolasetti. You still have Ron Futke in the dugout. Maybe surprised not to see him come out early, maybe try to stabilize, but you have some bats left, but don't want to leave a lot left to them. Cut nicely, but straight to the fielder. Straight to the fielder, does well. Amila Aponzo there, backward point. And Supermanian, he was expensive against the Atlanta Lightning. He's fixed it here. Done well bowling to these Raptors batters. Made things look tough. It's not been easy pickings, not been easy goings against these fire bowlers the way they're starting things off. Slower ball, straight to Amila Aponzo. Keeps Dane Pete rooted. It's a good over. It's a very, very good over for Tindra Supermanian. At the end of 8 overs, it's 41 for 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Amila Aponzo to continue. And he's bowled so well to start things off here. Made things real tough for the Morrisville Raptors. Pushed into the onside, no run. Subramanian all over it. Emilio Alfonso and his 2 overs, giving up just 1 run. He's taken 2 wickets. It's brilliant stuff here from the left arm orthodox. And beats Hamilton altogether. Jamar, big throw, misses it, misses stumps, and they go run that single. A hug from Emilio Alfonso. Jamar Hamilton, hand on his head, knew he had Hanchard gone. But Hanchard makes it in the end. Again, we thank you for tuning in to this coverage of the 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. Have plenty of games for you over Labor Day weekend, not just with the Morrisville Raptors and the Atlanta Fire, but we'll see the Fort Lauderdale Lions take on the Baltimore Royals. Plenty of matchups still to come. Big turn, big turn. Pushed out to Aaron Jones, and big wind as well. Big gust going from the right to the left of your screen. Quicker aerial. It'll get a run. Could run to the boundary. Yeah, will run to the boundary. Dane Pete's done real well there. Played it real fine. And he'll pick up 4 runs. Again, just using the pace of Emilio Alfonso, and when you're given a little bit of width, that's what you can do with third man that wide. That was the key, how wide third man was, a little bit of width on the delivery outside the off stump, and just allowed Pete to open the blade and run it down for 4 runs. It's good work from the Raptors captain. You're going to look at Dane Pete, and you might not think, wow, he's a terrific batter, but he's a very smart batter. I've seen him for 2 seasons now, and what he's able to do is just understand the angles and make the bowler play to his strengths. Again, looking to run, this time too close to do it. No run on offer. Emilio Alfonso's done well. Yes, that boundary, but the overs that he's bowled just made it so that doesn't really matter. Again, wide, misses out does Dane Pete. Really should have slashed at it. Plenty of fielders behind the ring there. That'll close out this 9th over. At the end of 9 overs, the Morrisville Raptors, they got quite a ways to go.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Atindra Subramanian to continue with the ball in hand. Subramanian, ball in hand. He'll be bowling in to Hanchard Hamilton here. Pushed down the ground. Does want to get a hand on it as Aaron Jones, but they'll get the single nonetheless. And 46 runs, now 47 runs on the board. And Subramanian, he's going to want to keep that down. Keep things low, keep things tight. 103 runs needed. Well bowled, really well bowled there. Just keeping things away, cramping Dane Pete up for room as that one was hit to Obis Benar. And still plenty of work to be done for the Morrisville Raptors. 102 runs required. Fuller hit into the offside. It'll be a couple of runs. Won't quite race to the boundary. They'll pick up 2. Good effort in the field. Cornet dry. The big quick getting down and dirty with it. find 2 runs in the end. Again, Dane Peets is so good at finding in innings and creating gaps, and it's the way he pierces and plays different deliveries. Yes, he knows he can play it straight back down the ground, but he'll open the blade and play it a little bit wider to get the fielders to shift, and then we'll take advantage of the easier shot. Looking to just open his hands again. Again, Jamar Hamilton having a lot of words with Dane Peet, who's smiling back at him. But again, speaking of that with Dane Peet, you just think about the matchup against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers last season. Dane Peet played plenty of deliveries he could have hit straight back down the ground through backward point, opening the face, and then on that final delivery, all the fielders had moved around to cover that gap. Then he hits it straight back down the ground to get the winning run. It's plays like that that separate Dane Peet with the bat in hand. That's what makes him special. He's not an Obis Pinar. He's not going to wow you with some of the shots he plays, but he's someone who just is smart with the way he approaches the game and plays the game. 50 comes up for the Morrisville Raptors after that single. A delivery to go here in this 10th over. 99 runs still required. It's a tall ask for the Morrisville Raptors, and they'll need to score in a hurry. Required run rate just under 10 at the moment. And a dot ball, Supermanian, he's bowling well. 10 overs gone, it's 50 for 3. So we've seen Emilio Ponzo operate from this end of the ground and have great success. They're going to save his final over, you would think, for maybe like the 13th or 14th, right before they need to tee off, and could even save him later. They use him in the death, the Atlanta Fire. But right now they've turned to the off spinner, Nasser Hussein. Pulled down the ground. Cornet Dry has some work, won't get there. It'll be 4 runs. Dane Peet starts off the over in quite a way for the Morrisville Raptors. They needed something like this. They'll pick up a boundary. Again, Hussein has liked the length, to be on that length, and the Raptors batters have looked to come down and forward. This time Peet stays back. Again, looking to stay back, missing it all together. Looking for that big cut shot. No one in the deep behind point on the offside. Fielders in the deep. Deep cover, long off, long gone. Deep mid-wicket and backward square. Again pulled, this time should just be 1 out to Cornet Dry. Does well with a little bit of extra bounce. Now it'll bring the matchup that the Fire would like to take advantage of. The left-handed Hanchard Hamilton will be facing the off spinner. Again, we've seen Hamilton like to take his time. It's what he does. He's a batter who used to batting at the top, used to taking his time to get going, but once he gets going, can be a real handful. Just has to get to that point, and the Raptors will need it. Push down the ground, a little fumble from Hussein, but not enough to leak a run. And zooming through this over are the Atlanta Fire. Pulled all the way. That's 6 runs. Needed it to the Raptors, and Hanchard Hamilton has got all of it. That's well gone. That's brilliant from Hanchard Hamilton. Just take another look. Drag short, got onto the back foot quickly, and once he got it onto the bat, it sounded like it was going to be 6 all the way through into the next ground as well. Even the tall Obis Pinar out there couldn't do much with it. And again, a good over. You're picking up a couple of boundaries here. 11 runs coming from the over so far. 1 delivery to go. Kind of over that can change momentum. Swing it back into the favor of the Raptors. Tucked into the leg side. Really well done by Supermanian. Ball jumped at him at the last second. One delivery to go here. And this 11th over. Pushed, no run, on off for the Morrisville Raptors. They get 11 runs from it. At the end of 11, it's 61 for 3. Back here in the 12th over, 61 for 3 are the Morrisville Raptors, needing 88 from the last 9. This Labor Day weekend is so enticing, and for the Morrisville Raptors, if you were to fall in this match, you want to make it close. Don't want to lose that net run rate, especially with the way the Baltimore Royals have it. Same would go for the Atlanta Fire. Just not want to lose these run rates either side. The Fire dropping 2 games last week. The Raptors will fall in the same suit. Clipped off the hips. Will pick up a run. Could pick up 4. Well done by Nasser Hussain. Keeps it to just 2. It's powerfully struck off the hip of Dane Pete. Jeremy Gordon coming back to the attack, and Hussain did real well in front of the Fire dugout. But Dane Pete is finding some rhythm in this innings. 15 runs from him. He's going on to run a ball. And so if he can stick in for the next 5 overs, could be something special. Again, worked it to the leg side. The call was no from Dane Pete early, and I think he regretted that call. I think he thought it was going to go much squarer than it did. And Hanchard had just turned his back listening to the call. There we go, Jeremy Gordon. We've talked about what an asset he is. Shot. What a shot that is from Dane Pete. Stand and admire that one. Over the top of the offside. Will find himself 4 runs, Dane Pete. Moving the scoreboard along. If you just take a look at that there, the key to this was just Jeremy Gordon's length. He'd been in the line as well. It was outside the off stump. Yeah, you just take a second look at this. The key to me was the length. Fuller, wider, asked to be hit. Pulled in the air, but just over the top of Rishi Pandey. We'll find a run there. Again, key stuff here for the Morrisville Raptors. These are big runs, important runs. They'd want Dane Pete, the captain, to ideally finish it out, but at least be there for the next 5 overs. If he can mount his way to 50, it'd be that stay at the crease we've talked about. Hanchard Hamilton, he's been in the middle for 14 deliveries, has 11 runs to his name, and he's also another man if he can get going. These are situations that he's made for at number 4. Getting out of gritty situations, tough situations. Jeremy Gordon, ex-Canadian national. He's such a weapon with the ball in hand. Hits the deck hard. Gets an angle back into the left-hander. So far has gone for some runs today. Has been the one bowler the Raptors have taken a liking to. Inner half of the bat, It'll be 1, maybe 2 if they push. They're going to push. Dane Pete's quick, and he'll get it there in the end. They'll pick up 2 runs. Big 2 runs. Again, every run's going to matter. You got to get those singles, got to get those doubles. Scoreboard moves to 70. And it's turning into a whole nother game. The Raptors aren't letting this run rate get up to 10. This required run rate is sticking below it. Slower ball, fuller and straighter. No run on offer. A good way for the Fire to close out the 12th over. 70 for 3.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Here we go. Spin to continue in the form of Nasser Hussein.
You can vote.
Dane Pete in the middle. Nasser Hussein went for some runs in his previous over. We want to come back strong. Taken into the leg side. Should just be 1. Cornet Dry does well. Big mitts out there, long gone. Nothing gets by him. Again, the matchup that you would like if you're the Atlanta Fire, the off spinner into the left-handers, turning the ball away. Hanchard Hamilton did take him for a 6 over deep mid-wicket where Obis Pinar is stationed, so don't want to get too short. Fuller pushed into the offside. They're taking a run at short cover. They do well. And the reason that run was successful is because it's away from the fielder. That ball was hit to the right of Aaron Jones, who's a good fielder, quick to the ball, got the throw off. But the fact that it was hit to his right and they were quick off the blocks, they're able to get that single. It's the key to the game, keeping them in the Morrisville Raptors. Want to take this game deep. Hit again into the leg side. Cornet Dry will be there to clean it up. Just 1. But again, runs are runs. Helps in that run rate. Helps you inch back into this match. Nasser Hussein, he's come back well after the over where he was hit for 2 boundaries. Straight back. Work for Ken R. Lewis. Does well. Really does well. We'll see what the umpire signals here. I think the umpire is going to take the fielder's call here. I think Ken R. Lewis has done really well. Used the foot in the end to pat it back down. Might have just stepped on the line. Just wanted to take a look at that. But signaled just a couple of runs there from the umpires. No boundary given. 2 runs for Hanchard Hamilton. Again, Lewis does well. Swats it down. Yeah, maybe a foot on the line. Missed that one, but we'll get 1 in the end. Would have been a huge boundary. Could have been a big moment. But to Kennard Lewis's credit, that ball did bounce quite a bit on him. Got the ball down. Was at least active enough to get the foot, but just, again, the question about was that foot over the line. Those questions will remain. 12 overs gone. It's 70 for 3.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Refueling with some Lakshmi Rice are the Morrisville Raptors there in the dugout, needing 79 from 48 balls. Excuse me, 75 for 3 after 13, 74 needed from the final 7 overs. The required run rate is above 10, inching towards 11. A lot of work to be done, and a familiar face for the Raptors in with ball in hand. Obis Pinar starting things off to Hanchard Hamilton. Left arm spin into the left-hander could be favorable. But Pinar, someone who's very lethal with ball in hand. Big shout straight away, asking all the right questions. Obis Pinar did not have the greatest first over in an Atlanta Fire uniform last weekend. He's been given the ball here in an important moment. This over could really change the game. A quiet one could put so much pressure on the Raptors. Heaved into the leg side. Will be one. Yeah, just one. Cornet dry. How active has he been in the field? Has bowled well. Took the big wicket of Trayvon Griffith. But has done real well with ball in hand. Pinar back in. Into the right-handed Dane Pete. Another battle. One of these two would want to win. Hit in the air. Should be taken. No, it's 6. That's all the way down the ground. How about this? Brilliant from Dane Pete. Absolutely brilliant from Dane Pete. Thought it might have just hung up in the air, but got all of it, got enough. Zain Zayed unable to get underneath it. The Raptors captain taking it to the fire now, keeping this contest alive. Taking it to his friend as well, Obis Pinar. It's a good battle here, games within the games. Cut into the air, fielder, no, won't get there. Just be one bounce out to Cornet dry. Obis Pinar is searching for it. He wants this wicket. Dane Pete's doing well, keeping this game in reach. Game could easily fall. Yeah. Could easily falter away, but Obis Pinar is looking for that wicket. Could he break this partnership? It'd be a big one to break. They'll find a single here. Good work from Obis Pinar. Darts it in quicker. And just rushed Hanchard Hamilton. Didn't let him heave his hands through the line of the ball. For Dane Pete, don't want to get too full. Back of the length delivery nearly worked. This time cut. Well stopped by Athinder Subramanian inside the ring. Does really well. A high five from Rishi Pandey to close out the over. At the end of 14, it's 85 for 3. What's up? Here we go, back into this 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. Amila Alponzo, ball in hand. And Amila Alponzo will have some work to do. The Raptors have just claimed a little bit of momentum, with Dane Pete going for a couple of sixes and Hanchard Hamilton finding runs in regulation. Alponzo being called upon to slow things down. So good in his first 3 overs. His first 2 went for 1 run. He's gone for just 6 runs total. 2 wickets to his name. Big shout. This looks good. It looks good. No, not given. Not given. Was it high? And maybe, I think the umpire saying it was outside the off stump. It could have been high as well. Hit around the knee roll, lunging forward. Hanford Hamilton, he'll survive there. Pushed into the offside. They'll get a run. We'll bring in Dane Pete back into the middle. 25 from 23, 2 4s and a 6 to his name. We'll see what the plan is here for Dane Pete. He's been able to take deliveries full. If it's too short, he's more than willing to rock back on the back foot. Pack leg side field. Straight up, cries of catch it. Kennard Lewis coming around. He won't get there because that's long. Dane Pete, he's putting on a display here at the Buttonveers Cricket Complex. His second 6 of the innings. Moves into the 30s off that one. That one would have been heart pounding for both sides. It was in the air for quite some time, and Kennard Lewis was running under it. But once it crossed that line, you can see Kennard Lewis start to fade into the boundary. Raptors fans, they would have breathed a sigh of relief. And the fire maybe starting to tense up a little bit. Pushed into the onside, gets a single. This is what Dane Pete's done well. Boundary. Single. They haven't eaten too many dot balls. 57 from 33 now. Excuse me, make it 56 from 32. Inching closer. Big hitter to come in Abiram Bolasetti. Still Rohan Fudke, who can get those singles. Push. Hanford Hamilton does well. These two have come up with the plan. This is the key. Remember, the Fire came up with the plan when it was Rishi Pandey, when it was Obis Pinar, when it was Zain Zayed. They said, we're going to run at everything. I'm going to take on the bigger hitting. You keep getting the singles. That's what's happening right now. And the captain's leading from the front. Pushed it. Whoa, no run on offer. 15 overs are gone. It's 94 for 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Back here at the Buttonveers Cricket Complex, Obis Pinar into bowl. Cut away, well done. Kennard Lewis does well inside the ring. No run on offer. Hanford Hamilton, he's starting to get things going. Wouldn't say he's in complete flow, but he's getting runs in consistent intervals. And that's going to be the key. Can the Fire plug that up? Big shout from Obis Pinar, but it's definitely high down the leg side, but it's good bowling. It's good bowling. Very tall individual Obis. Gets overspin, gets bounce. And so just rises on a batter. You wouldn't expect it to rise the way it is. Quicker. Pushed into the leg side. Does well to get Dane Pete back on strike. And again, Dane has done the bigger hitting. He's been the guy to accelerate. Get that boundary that you need. The required run rate up to 11 now. You're going to need one of them. What does Obis Pinar have in store from his old buddy, his former teammate? Yorked him, and he's bowled him. Bowled him. Obis Pinar, he's won the matchup here. subdue celebration. Dane Pete, it was a good innings, a needed innings from the captain. But Obis Pinar yorks him completely. The dip at the end of it, you could see it there. Dane Pete saying, undoes him, take another look. Obis Pinar slows it down, flights it up, and it just dips completely on Dane Pete. Yorker length and misses it altogether. That leads to the end of the captain. And was that the end of the Morrisville Raptors as well? Only time will tell. But the Atlanta Fire are all over it at the moment. And Obis Pinar, the new acquisition, has done real well. It'll bring out the youngster, Rohan Fudke, called upon to perhaps get these final 54 runs, at least keep the game in check. Fudke, listed as a batting all-rounder, had a few stints opening the batting last season, didn't quite fire there. Just found his way into the middle order. Very capable, was a member of that USA under-19 team in 2021. Played a lot of his cricket in Morrisville, North Carolina, and will have something to say here. And we'll have to just get some runs started. Now it's a change in roles for Hanchard Hamilton, however. He's got to be the bigger hitter. And it's going to be on Rohan Fudke to rotate, run for everything. Obis Pinar would know about Fudke, member of the Morrisville Raptors last season. Here we go. Rohan's first delivery. Pushed into the offside. We got to run straight away. Could be a couple of them. No, says no. Just going to get one. One delivery left. Hanchard Hamilton on strike. Does he take the single, or does he look to be the aggressive one to get that one boundary in the over? The required run rate, it's now above 12. A lot of work to do for the Morrisville Raptors. You still have Abiram Bolasetti in the dugout. But will there be enough time? Will there just be too many runs on the board? If you can get it to a situation where it's 25 from the last 2 overs, it's still feasible. Big pull. Has missed it all together. Zingbail's lit up, but that was just because there was a little touch there from Hanchard Hamilton. It's a great over from Obis Pinar. He's reined it back in for the Atlanta Fire. 16 overs gone. The score reads 97 for 4.
आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Well, the Atlanta Fire, thanks to Obis Pinar, has reeled this thing in. He's making a case for the player of the match here today. Atinder Subramanian, he's the man who's got ball in hand for the Atlanta Fire now. He was starting off to Rohan Fudke. Part 2 of them, part of under-19 cycles at different times. And Subramanian, he's been really good here today after having an off week last weekend. 2 overs, 7 runs he's given up. And he's bowled 6 dot balls in his 12 deliveries he's bowled in to Fudke. Cut. We'll find one out to deep cover. Thought about 2, did Rohan, but not wanting to test the arm of Obis Pinar was Hanchard Hamilton. And this is where the game takes a turn. Hanchard Hamilton now has to be the big run scorer. The required run rate up at 13. Up above 13 now. He'll need to find the boundary. Hasn't found it with much consistency. Just a 4 and a 6 to his name. He's been in the middle now for 31 deliveries. You would say it's the time for him to put his hand up, express himself, and go big. That's what they're missing in their middle order. The Morrisville Raptors. Can Hanchard Hamilton be the missing link? Well bowled. Subramanian goes full, goes straight. Nowhere to go for Hamilton. Now, any one of these two have to find boundaries. If they want any chance of this, it's 51 from 22. Excuse me, 50 from 22. And boundaries are going to have to be found in consistent intervals from either bat. Again, if you just want to give a chance to the likes of Abhiram Bolasetti, to the likes of Aditya Padala, Kartikya Jagadish, some of these guys who can hit the ball a long way, you got to get this now. Slower ball, does well, does Rohan Phadke, picked it and split the gap on the offside, got 4 runs for it. It's a really good looking shot that. It's not a bad ball there from Subramanian. Went with the back of the hand, slower one. Phadke just waited on it, sat on that delivery, and able to split the gap there wide, mid-off. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Raptors. Going to need plenty of that as Kenar Lewis now drops back out onto the ring. Can this be the over the Raptors take advantage of? Went for the ramp, misses it altogether, but is going to run through third man. And to pick up a single, will Rohan Phadke off the legs. And we've seen Rohan Phadke try to be innovative and play those types of strokes before. Hasn't always worked out for him. You would think about the matchup against the Manhattan Yorkers in 2021, where he tried to play a similar shot, misses it altogether. Against the New Jersey Stallions last year in the playoffs, where he was given LBW. So hasn't been able to find a connection on those. Try to pull it. It's hit high on the bat. It's going to find a couple of runs. Rohan Phadke, he's quick. Is he quick enough? Hanchard Hamilton was always going to get back. Obis Pinar made up a lot of ground to get to that delivery. A lefty thrower having to get in there.
Who's that, sir? He's the manager.
Here we go, Subramanian back in, final delivery of the over to Hamilton. Straight back, that should be 4. It will be. Straight as you like that. And a good way to get a second boundary in the over for the Morrisville Raptors. Signs of life with that shot there. Again, Subramanian maybe just a touch too full. I think just missed the length, and that time got all of it. Did Hanchard Hamilton and runs past Kenar Lewis. They'll pick up 4 runs there. It's a good way to close out the 17th over. 110 on the board, 39 from 3. The required run rate's 13. It's not over yet. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. This game is still within the grasps of the Morrisville Raptors. Just takes a couple of guys to start hitting. And Hanchard Hamilton's going to put that impetus on now. We've seen Rohan Phadke hit that boundary. And like I said, if it's 25 from 12, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raptors pick the win up. But getting to that in this over is going to be the key. Can they find those 14 runs to do that? They need 13 to keep up with the run rate. And Jeremy Gordon's going to come back with ball in hand, and he's been the man that the Morrisville Raptors have been able to find runs off of. He's gone for 10 and over in his previous 2. 20 runs from his 2 overs. And he's just wavered with the line and length. He's just been a little bit inconsistent. And for Rohan Phadke, who generally likes the ball full, we'll see how he handles the back of a length nature of Jeremy Gordon. The extra bounce that Gordon does invoke on this wicket. Out in the deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, deep cover, deep third, and deep mid-wicket comes back inside the ring, daring Phadke to hit into that area, go over the top on the leg side. Does a deep backward square. We'll see the length that Gordon likes to bowl. Usually it goes on that hard length. Rohan sends him back on that occasion. Fudgate play hero, or will Gordon get the last laugh? Full hit into the leg side, no fielder there, wouldn't matter if there was. He'll find a boundary. Rohan Fudgate picked the slower one early, and he's putting on a statement piece of an innings right now. Take a look to go full, try to slow it down, and Rohan Fudgate picked it up early. Brilliantly struck into the next ground over. And this can just change the game. He's someone who likes the delivery to be full. He likes playing fuller deliveries, likes to get onto the front foot and go down the ground. And if Gordon's going to look to bowl a similar length, Rohan Fudgate could find a big over here. Deep mid-wicket drops back. Long off inside the ring, so that tells you he's going to attack the legs of Rohan Fudgate. Don't want to try to get too adventurous. Don't want to try to get too innovative. You can get 2 runs through mid-wicket. No, deep mid-wicket's inside the circle again. Can't quite decide where that mid-wicket fielder should be. Where does Gordon bowl? Hard length, through covers, fielder's there. Should be taken. Yep, simple out in the deep. Cornet dry was never going to drop it. It's the right shot there from Rohan Fudgate, just picked out the fielder. Rolled the fingers over it again, did Jeremy Gordon. That's what kept it from going behind square. Met it well in front. And big moments in the match here. The Atlanta Fire, they'll feel very good about this. And Rohan Fudgate, after a couple of sixes, has to go. And from one youngster to the next. The Atlanta Fire, they're well ahead. They feel well ahead in the match. Brings out Abhiram Bolasetti, who's known for the 6 hitting. But he'll have a lot on his plate here. It's 33 from 16. He'll be on strike to start things off. Well, Bolasetti. And we've seen him hit a quick fire 44 just off 22 deliveries on July 4th weekend back at Church Street Park. Is it a knack of federal holidays for everyone on Bolasetti? Is Labor Day weekend his weekend as well? We'll have to see. But Abhiram Bolasetti, a task on his hand. Jeremy Gordon comes back well after getting hit for 20 runs in his first 2 overs, getting hit for a 6 on that very first delivery. Held his nerve. Got the wicket of Rohan Fudgate. Can he find a way to close out the over? 4 deliveries to go now. Mid-wicket again being pushed back. Now being pulled around. Being pulled into a backward square inside the ring, and Kenar Lewis being sent into deep mid-wicket from this deep backward square position. Gordon into Bolasetti. Misses it altogether. A little bit of extra bounce on offer. Again, this is what Gordon can do when he's operating on a length. Just get a little bit of extra bounce, a little extra carry. Take a look. Just over the top of that bat from Abhiram Bolasetti. And also, that's to the field. Has a long off in place. Bolasetti would be eyeing that extra cover region. Tried it again, missed it again. Jeremy Gordon's done real well here. It's never easy to get going straight away, and especially not on this wicket. Bolasetti will tell you that he's missed out on 2 deliveries he feels he should have taken to the fence. But Jeremy Gordon, he's putting all of his experience to good use. Short. 1 for the over. 1 for the over. This is good bowling. Good death bowling from Gordon. Just that initial 6 has been a wicket and 3 dots to follow that. Bolasetti has to find the boundary now. Has to find it on this final delivery. Top edge. Fielder's coming underneath it. Athindra won't get there. Will come up short and it'll just be 1. They're coming back for 2. And they'll get 2. They might look for 3. No. Abhidham says no. They'll pick up 2 from it. It's a good over for the Fire. They pick up a wicket. Just gave up 8 runs from it. 31 from the final 2 overs. It's the youngster. He's bowling the penultimate over, often described as the most important over in any defense, really in any cricket match. Being put on the hands of the under-19. He'll be bowling into Hanchard Hamilton, who watched that entire over from the non-striker's end. He's played 34 deliveries, scored 33 runs, but will have to basically double his run total here from the next 12 deliveries. 31 from the final 2 overs. That's what the Raptors need. Or will the Fire, will they bounce back after back-to-back losses to the Lightning last weekend on this very ground? Deep third, deep cover. Long on, cow corner. That's the men out of the deep for Supermanian, and also a long off. Full and straight does well. They'll get a single. But that's brilliant from Supermanian. And again, don't discredit Jamar Hamilton's impact on that delivery. Forces Hanchard Hamilton to stay in his crease. Doesn't allow him to attack. Meet it on the full. Has to play it as a Yorker. Now, Abhidham Bolasetti has a big hitting pedigree. Member of the under-21 team of the tournament last season for his exploits with the bat. Can he meet his under-19 counterpart? Inner half, just be one. There will just be one. This is brilliant. This is brilliant from the young man. Atindra Subramanian. He's turned heads through 2 seasons of minor league cricket for what he does with the ball at such a young age. All the variations. Back of the hand slower ball, the off cutter, the leg cutter. He's looked so good through 2 years, and in year 3, just maturing and growing with every single delivery, every single game. Third ball. Hit into the leg side. Kenar Lewis is all over it. Keeps it to just 1. They're going to come back for 2. Bolasetti's quick. We'll come back. Need a boundary in the over. Be gettable, but you have to imagine Cornet Drive is going to finish things out. Never easy to score off the big quick. Want to do as much as you can here in this over. 27 from 9 deliveries. That's what's required for the Morrisville Raptors. Gets it in the air, hasn't got all of it. Kenar Lewis settles, takes it. More importantly, it's a wicket and it's a dot ball. Atindra Subramanian, this is what he does. Seems to just be a habit. Picks up big wickets in big moments. And that time gets the wicket of Hanchard Hamilton. Stay in the middle, comes to an end, is a valuable stay, but unable to pay it forward for the Atlanta Fire. What a luxury it is to have Supermanian as your third pacer. Talk about Cornet Dry, talk about Jeremy Gordon, and then to have Atindra. To accompany the 2 spinners and Nasser, Sanamil, Alponzo, and now Obis Pinar. You can still throw Aaron Jones in the mix to bowl. Here we go, 27 needed from 8 deliveries. It's Everoy Dyer who's walked out into the middle. He's played in Atlanta. He's a member of the Atlanta Fire and last year's rendition of minor league cricket. Would love to hit a couple of lusty blows to get some payback to his former side. But has to do it against Subramanian here. Straight back down the ground. This could be 4. Won't get quite enough on it. Bolasetti has to be quick. Will be that ball rolled off the bounce. Picks up 2 runs. Still a good delivery. Still real good from the Atlanta Fire, but you can sense the nerves. You can sense the tension coming in here for both sides. The game is far from over. 25 from 7. Very, very gettable. Very, very doable. A boundary would change the game here. Can Dyer deliver the goods? What does Subramanian have in his back pocket? Is it the back of the hand slower ball? Does he introduce that? Full wide, helped over the top of point. It will be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Raptors. It's a boundary. It's a 4 to close out the 19th over. It was a good over from Subramanian, but ends well for the Morrisville Raptors. Makes it 21 from the final 6. You just took a look at this. He went pace on, went wide. We saw that be punished when Rashish Bahara bowled in the death for the Morrisville Raptors. Similar situation here. No fielder in that area. Should have stayed on stumps. Should have stayed straight. And that's the conversation Jamar Hamilton's having with the young quick right now. But plenty to do here for the Raptors. The game is not in their hands quite yet. Yes, Abhiram Bolasetti's on strike, but 21 runs are needed. And those 21 runs, you would hope, come off the bat of Abhiram Bolasetti for the Raptors. Don't want to see any singles. And this over, how it starts, would be a real key contributor. Who's got the ball in hand? Looks like it's going to be Jeremy Gordon who's got ball in his hand. It's not going to be Cornet Dry. He does have 2 overs left. I'll check on an injury update for him maybe. But Jeremy Gordon, after a brilliant over where he was hit for 6 on the first delivery, then took the wicket of Rohan Phadke, then didn't give up many runs into Bolasetti. Beats him for pace again. Hasn't found it. Hasn't found the magic of July 4th weekend 2022. Has Bolasetti. Just beating him for pace right now. Looking to play a big swing. Could think about on that length, helping it over third man. Maybe behind point. Could be a little bit more delicate. Beats him for pace again. Extra bounce. Great death bowling. This is what it's all about. Jeremy Gordon didn't start well, but what's the saying? Doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. 4 deliveries to go. 21 runs needed. So for those of you who are keeping track, the equation is simple. It's 4 sixes. Hits Abhiram Bolasetti on the body in the Fire. They've clinched it. They've clinched it. It's 20 runs from 3 deliveries. Not a way it happens unless you got a couple of extras, and even then need a lot of help. Bolasetti's going to feel disappointed. He wasn't able to get one of those away. It's a length he enjoys hitting on. But Jeremy Gordon has been brilliant in his second spell. And however, Dyer, want to just get that run rate going your way. And that run rate is going to play a factor in playoffs. Beats him for pace. Extra bounce. Try to heave it into the leg side. It's going to be a quiet end for the Morrisville Raptors. It looks like it's going to be a quiet end for the Raptors as they'll lose in this opening match here on Labor Day weekend. Have to bounce back quickly. Another game today. Plenty of games over the weekend. And you think about the Morrisville Raptors, you weren't too far away. He just needed to hone things in with the ball, taken out of the wicket, and then with the bat, just a little more application on the wicket. For the Atlanta Fire, a lot to celebrate. The depth of the bowling is the key here. Jeremy Gordon, I think they're Subramanian. The 3 spinners they can operate with. Aaron Jones hasn't even bowled in this match, but we know how good of a bowler he is. That's how good Jeremy Gordon is. No one's going to even get an edge onto that. And that'll wrap things up. The Atlanta Fire, they reign victorious here in the opening match of Labor Day weekend. And thanks to Jeremy Gordon, thanks to Obis Pinar, they get on to the other end of it. It was a real pouch-finding finish. It felt for a moment, felt like we had a classic coming. But it ended up being an easy win for the Atlanta Fire. Not without some nerves, though. Talk about Hanchard Hamilton's 36 from 37. Dane Pete with maybe the biggest innings of the Raptors batting, with Dane Pete's 32 from 27. And then with the ball in hand, we talk about Jeremy Gordon, 4 overs, 29 runs and a wicket. Only went for 6 runs, 8 runs in his last 2 overs. Then you talk about Cornet Dry, his wicket of Trayvon Griffith, 2 wickets for Emilio Alfonso with an economy of 3.75. And Obis Pinar, my player of the match, 2 overs, 11 runs, and a wicket to go along with his 40 runs he scored with the bat in hand. Thank you so much for joining us here in this 2023 Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. We appreciate you joining us for this coverage today and in this match. And don't go anywhere because we have more matches coming to you. 38 matches to come in Labor Day weekend. So make sure you join us. For myself, Amal Patel, and for the entire production team, we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. Down the track, Vinod Kumar Kandaswamy, bigger and better, will find 6 runs. Dry into his first over. Down the track again, hit into the air. Who wants it? Jamar Hamilton settles underneath it, takes the catch, and there you go. Now 2 and 3. Hit. And it ends up being a couple of runs. It'll end up being 4. It'll be 4 in high regard. Bat on ball in the air. It's going to beat everyone inside the ring, and it's going to be a 7 score now. And that's hit well, hit firmly, and it'll be 4 runs out into the offside, into Ryan Wiggins. With edged, given, Emilio Alfonso's up. On ball. On the pads, big shout, fingers lifted. Quicker aerial. It'll get a run, could run to the boundary. Yeah, will run to the boundary. Dane Pete's done real well to the Raptors, and Hanchard Hamilton has got all of it. That's well gone. Pulled all the way. That's 6 runs. Needed it to the Raptors, and Hanchard Hamilton has got all of it. That's well gone. That's brilliant from Hanchard Hamilton. Shot. What a shot that is from Dane Pete. Stand and admire that one. Over the top. Back leg side field. Straight up. Cries of catch it. Kennard Lewis coming around. He won't get there because that's long. Dane Pete. He's putting on a display here at the Putnam Veers Cricket. Yorked him, and he's bowled him. Obis Pinar. He's won the matchup here. Now. Slower ball. Does well. Does run. Fudke picked it and split the gap of the over to Hamilton. Straight back, that should be 4. It will be. Straight as you like that. Full hit into the leg side. No fielder there. Wouldn't matter if there was. Gets it in the air. Hasn't got all of it. Kennard Lewis settles. Takes it. More. Full wide. Helped over the top of point. It will be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Raptors.